Well, that was a brilliant rendition of both Jerusalem and the national anthem from the vocal dimension chorus, just as we see the players getting ready to go out for the final match here at Lords, and we see the Royal Air Force up against the Royal Navy. And I think the last game has shaken things up a little bit, but it's all for the Light Blues to lose. They know they're in a strong position, and we'll see what the Royal Navy can do, and I'm sure the Army in some way might now be backing the Dark Blues. But to take you through the last game of today, we have got the ever-reliant Simon Hunter, and he's joined by John Knighton in commentary.
Welcome back to Lords, the home of cricket, bathed, I would say, in milky sunshine at the moment. Nevertheless, this finale about to go ahead between the defending champions, the Royal Navy, and the Royal Air Force. The Royal Air Force having beaten the Army on Tuesday in the first match of the men's IS T20 tournament. And the Royal Navy having just lost to the Army defending 148 for 8, defending it very well, winning by 16 runs. The Royal Navy feeling perhaps stung by that result, going head-to-head with the Light Blues, who of course are buoyed by their performance just a couple of days ago. They've just come from the nursery ground of training. They've kept a keen eye on proceedings as well, and warm applause there following the national anthem for the teams. And John Knighton joining me as throughout the day up in the commentary box once more for this brilliant finale, and should be a humdinger of a contest, John.
It really should, actually, Si. You know, obviously I wasn't at the game on Tuesday, so but I've just heard so many brilliant stats about the way the RAF really dismantled the Army. To win a T20 game by 8 wickets in such a fashion is quite remarkable. It's going to be interesting to see how this game develops, this one here against the Navy, who just fell short against a much improved Army performance, I think, in that second game.
Somewhat of a surprise for you, John, in that sense. I mean, we saw the RAF chasing successfully on Tuesday, and the Royal Navy failing to chase 149 in the previous match today.
We'll see, it's the RAF who are going to be chasing again, isn't it?
It is indeed, yes.
Did you say, I've just joined you, so was it the RAF who won the toss or and elected to field? We can normally tell, can't we, from these things? But it's the Navy coming out straight away to bat now. They batted first and will have been pretty pleased with their initially anyway.
Well, as we welcome once again Richard Isaacs to the commentary fold, a man with all the stats, a man who we are very grateful for. Your stats, as we've said before as well, Richard, the Royal Air Force putting the Royal Navy into bat, and interesting move there to start with. It looks like Tom Shorthouse who'll open the bowling as well.
Indeed he will, yes. That was, just looking back at the previous game, a much improved performance from the Army. The fielding was chalk and cheese from Tuesday. The catch from Narayan for the caught and bowled, and the Gabriel fielding on the boundary.
Amazing, wasn't it?
Was something else, and it matters. I do have some news, though. Exclusive news, if you like. I think the teams have been informed.
We love exclusives.
Is that the Army can't win it. Their net run rate is it was improved, but not sufficiently enough.
Well, that's what we were speculating, wasn't it?
It was.
We were graced to have the presence of Amanda Potgieter with us for the whole of that last game, just about. And Amanda's, she was absolutely spot on. She thought it was probably going to be too much for the Army to have a chance of winning, even if they did win this, their match with the Navy. So thanks for that official confirmation.
That's okay. And a ballpark figure, and I won't be able to stay for the whole innings because I will have to go and do my duty, if you like.
Absolutely.
Is that the general figure that the Navy need to win this is to win by about 19 runs. If the RAF win, obviously, it's game over. It's 2 wins from 2 and 4 points. So that doesn't matter. But the Navy could still win the Inter-Services T20 if they win by 19 runs.
19 runs, so similar margin, of course, to that which they lost by to the Army earlier, 16 runs in that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they do need to win a game at Lords, which they haven't done for 15 years.
Yeah, they certainly hadn't beaten the Army, had they? And all the inter-services results here. Yeah, absolutely. So let's see what's going to happen. The Navy obviously batting first, as they obviously didn't do against the Army.
Well, instrumental at the beginning of that game against the Army a couple of days ago was Tom Shorthouse, who's running into bowl now and opened the bowling for his side. Kept it extremely tight, Richard, down at Southampton, didn't he? And just didn't allow the Army anywhere to go.
Absolutely. He gave them nothing, and they got nothing. And that was full reward for his performance. With bat and with ball, to be fair.
But they're off the mark with a couple of runs straight away with Sam Hewitt and also Robbins as well. So they're off the mark, and they'll be pleased about that.
Robbins, who made 44 runs in the last game, just shy, of course, of a half-century. Have been disappointed not to make the 50, but nevertheless, back out with his opening partner. Shorthouse in again and keeping things fairly tight, and he's bowled.
He's gone.
Well, what a fantastic start for the Royal Air Force. We just mentioned how tight Tom Shorthouse can keep it, and I tell you what an absolute gift for the Royal Air Force in terms of a start. I mean, that's just brilliant bowling, and thoroughly deserved by the former skipper himself.
Indeed. Tom Shorthouse, this is his 29th wicket in all services career matches, obviously, Richard, according to your stats here. So that is a great start for him, isn't it? And the worst possible start for the Royal Navy with Hewitt going without scoring.
And that's why he bowls the first over. He will make things happen. He'll either go for 1 run and nothing else, or he'll nick you a wicket. And it puts you right on the back foot very early doors. That's why he bowls the first over. Yeah,
wonderful stuff from Shorthouse. And already, as has been alluded to, the Navy on the back foot here. And Ben Johnson strolling out to join Robbins. Bowled by an absolute beauty from Gabriel in that Army victory earlier on. And, well, the Navy will be dearly hoping for a massive contribution from him today. You know how pivotal he's been in the past at the top of that batting order.
They rather went off the boil than Navy in that first innings. They had the Army under the pump, and they'd let them off, and it cost them in the end.
Well, the defending champions, of course, the Royal Navy, aren't they, from this T20? But this is not the start that they would have wanted. But a perfect start for the RAF here. As you say,
well
who won the game here 12 months ago by 3 wickets in this T20 game here at Lord's in 2024.
That's trying to get that away and finding the gap there. That's going to trickle over the rope.
And that's gone for 4.
Despite the best efforts of the fielder.
But that was another game where a net run rate was key. It did cause a few issues. I'm guilty as charged because I wasn't basically allowed to inform the teams about what they needed to do. One team wanted to know and the other team didn't, and therefore it was a case of, well, I can't say anything then. And the only person on the ground who knew that the Navy had won the tournament before the final whistle had been blown was me. I was sat up in the scorebox and I was watching it unfold, and I just went, they've got to hit a 6 off this last ball, otherwise it's the Navy's. And they didn't, and the Navy won it, and no one knew what was happening until I basically went around and said the Navy have won. Which
feeling of power there, Richard, is incredible.
It was awkward. It was quite an awkward situation because it was out of my hands. I couldn't do anything. I wanted to tell the teams, but one of the teams, I can't remember which one it was, didn't want to know. And that's what transpired. So yes.
Can't believe the Navy didn't want to know.
well, this year we're actually going to be putting it on the scoreboard, so
everyone will know.
Person in the ground will know.
Yeah, that's what should happen as John Hawke comes in here, sharing that new ball with Shorthouse. Shorthouse who just went for 7 in that first over. 7 for 1, the Royal Navy, with the loss of Sam Hewitt. And John Hawke, who's been so consistent, very impressive again in Southampton against the Army. Just goes about his business fairly quietly, John Hawke.
Once again, and the RAF getting some good fielding practice in there, and that's Harvey Thomas, based at Bryce Norton, AS1, fielding out there.
See the familiar figure of Ross Diver just in front of us as well, and he won his 50th cap against the Army the other day. Didn't have to do too much in the game, as you and I said in commentary, Richard, didn't we? And he's been a pivotal player as well. Ball coming to him now.
The quintessential clubby fresh air game that was. We didn't bat, didn't bowl, didn't take any catches. £5, please.
Thank you very much.
He's been a terrific servant for RAF cricket, that is for sure. You know, he's a powerful batter, has got a good record for the RAF in inter-services and across the board, and played for UCAF as well on a number of occasions. So he is one of the staples of the competition.
Well known and well respected by many in the competition, and that's slog swept through mid-wicket, and another boundary for the Royal Navy.
Good start for them, apart from losing the wicket, 13 for 1, and just approaching the end of the second over here. So if you can keep the boundaries coming, you know, just scoring regularly, it obviously does no harm at all in putting that run rate up.
But hopefully they know that they need to put a sizable score on the board. 140 is possibly not going to be enough, especially if they've got to restrict the RAF to 121 or less. So they need to get to 160, 165, maybe 170.
And there's a claim. It's not been...
nearly a run out as well there.
Upheld by the umpire. Seemed very confident, didn't he, there, that he got to the LBW, did John Hawke, but the umpire said thanks, but no thanks.
Well, an entertaining first couple of overs, of course, out there. Plenty happening.
Looking at the replay, that's not hitting another set. I don't know what he's appealing for and why he seems so disappointed, but it did seem to be drifting down leg side by quite a fair distance.
Should we say he's maybe not the only opening bowler around the world who has fairly ambitious appeals?
I kind of get the feeling he might be an awful reviewer. If there was DRS, he'd be up for everything.
Oh, cramping him for room there, Shorthouse. Johnson just getting that ball away. Diver in its slip. Oh, and trying to be expansive and not getting as far as Shorthouse at the other end. The sun blazes down now. Oh, how did that miss? That was, well, a bit of a false stroke there, and just taking the edge, dribbling past the stumps.
Yeah, thank goodness the sun was out, because it did look like it was going to rain at one point, but thankfully the nasty clouds have passed and not dropped anything on us.
Yeah, moving towards that golden sunshine of the evening period. Going again, and a lovely strike there from Ben Johnson. Gets it away this time, up towards the advertising boards at the pavilion.
Yeah, no point in the fielders charging for that one. Yeah, this is good confident stuff then from Johnson. Goes on to 9. RAF move on to 17 for 1.
Shorthouse to Johnson. Oh, well bowled. He's not finding him easy to play here, or indeed read.
No. Two old UCAF mates here, Shorthouse and Johnston.
Oh,
And he's appealing for that one, and
well,
just beat the
another
outside
very
edge.
strenuous appeal coming through from Shorthouse there, but again, the umpire doesn't want to know.
Jogs through. The body language is good there, and just having a little pat of acknowledgement, I think, with Johnston.
Yeah, difficult to tell from our angle, but it seemed to be missing the off stump, didn't it? So 3 overs down, and the Navy move on to 17 for 1.
Yeah, setting a total. It'll be interesting to see what they deem to be a good total. Oh, and trying to get that away, and almost another appeal from John Hawke as it struck the pad of Robbins, but nothing else came of it. Shorthouse now down towards the media centre at the nursery end on the boundary. That's wide and will be called as such. Adam Sutcliffe had a good game with the gloves, standing up to stumps here. A good game on Tuesday, and we'll try to replicate that again. It's another play and a miss from Johnston.
Just looking down these RAS stats as well, Richard, just the name Graham Sesford pops up there. Graham now busy doing a lot of virtual sports stuff. Making big success of a career. I think he's obviously out of the Air Force now, but yeah, he's really sort of working on esports these days. So Graham, I don't know if you're watching today, but I'm sure you've got some great memories of here. 3rd on the list of IST20 career bowling records for the RAF, and only Mr. Shorthouse and a certain Mr. Watson ahead of you.
Oh, and a beautiful shot there, picked up gorgeously off the pads and over deep square leg for a wonderful 6.
The Navy are scoring boundaries. They've scored a boundary in every single one of their overs so far, and that's the best of them on the short boundary. I think we talked about short boundaries earlier, didn't we? And I wonder whether that is going to come into play later on, certainly for the Navy now, and for the Air Force when they are in reply.
A beautiful pickup. Well, it was a beautiful pickup. That it wasn't that short, but he picked it up beautifully, and that short boundary is so inviting.
Yeah, just timed it, didn't he? Didn't try and whack it or lose his shape. Playing that out into the offside. That's smart batting, that.
He looks strong, Robbins, I have to say. I've not seen an awful lot of him, but he looks strong to me.
Yes, very much so.
Pulled a few ropes, I would imagine, in the Navy.
Oh, nice pick-up of his pads, this time from Johnston. And they look for the 2, and, well, it's close, but they get home.
Yeah, Lieutenant Commander Dan Robbins has just sort of looking down the list, he is actually, I think, the only commissioned officer in the Navy team. Flag officer.
So he won't be pulling ropes then.
Well, he might have been earlier on in his career, but
Boundary ropes, perhaps.
29 for 1 off 4. That's a better over. They were sort of a little behind the rate, but got up to rate up now 7.2, which is obviously better, and they've got Shorthouse out of the attack as well.
So 29 for 1. It's a good start for the Navy.
Looks like Harry Hollingsworth coming on to bowl.
Based up at RAF Coningsby in Lincolnshire.
Good tidy bowler. Enjoys wickets with a bit of carry. And straight on the money, first up.
You were mentioning Graham Sesford earlier on. He was one of the rare sort of modern players, if you like, sort of recent players who played some county cricket while he was still serving with Worcestershire.
He did. I remember the time he got that opportunity to play for Worcestershire, and he was always incredibly grateful for that. Certainly did justice to his position.
Oh, an attempted pull shot coming off the toe end of the bat, I think, up towards the bowler.
No ball and free hit.
An opportunity once again for Robbins to free his arms a little.
Good officials today, by the way.
They've been brilliant.
Really good officials today. Certainly for the men's game, little Martin Seaward at the bowler's end.
And hits straight up the man. Of course, a chance still for a run out off a free hit, but didn't get the direct hit. Looked fairly close.
Yeah, little Martin Seaward, who was my roomie last night. That we got a family room, so I didn't actually see him at all when I got in late. And Dave Richards, wonderful man, Welshman from in the army. Really, really lovely guy. And the two scorers today, Ray Hollier, Royal Navy through and through, Hampshire man, and Sarah Street, or Sarah Cray, depending on which day it is. Lovely, lovely lady. Does lots of umpiring and scoring with the MCC as well, but still serving in the army, and played for many, many years for UCAF and the Army ladies team. Lovely to see them today. It's been a super day for the officials.
Johnson trying to take that towards the grandstand, but just doesn't quite time it.
Always good to hear of former players putting something back when it comes to getting involved with either scoring, umpiring, any sort of officialdom. Just talking to Amanda earlier, I mean, she's doing some great work with the Italians at the moment out in Rome, and thoroughly enjoying it out there. A bit questionable about the wickets out there, but apart from that, you see her as someone down the line who, you know, could do a similar job, you know, for the army in a coaching role. With the experience that she's got, and with the, you know, the history, the background that she has, you know, that sort of skill you don't want to lose, do you?
Absolutely, but she's got to stop playing first, and that's the thing with Beanie. Will she ever stop playing? She just loves it so much, and you probably got that vibe when she was here.
Passion's palpable. It's very clear to see.
Huge.
Totally. Greatly entertaining as well. Lovely having her alongside us in the commentary today.
Johnson trying to get that through to the leg side, ball outside off, and Hollingsworth gets that through to Sutcliffe.
It's a good over from him.
Yeah, tidy as we've come to expect. Both of these batsmen on 13, 33 for 1 in the 5th over. Defended into the square into the offside, and they take a single.
I'm not sure what Ben White's going to do later on when he's in the field. He's going to be very disappointed because his fan club has gone home. I don't know whether you could hear it earlier on, But the school children that were down here,
We saw in front,
yeah, were giving him everything.
Yeah. Well, they'll all be watching our live coverage now.
I would like to hope so.
That's what we hope.
Yes,
and their mums and dads
screaming
too.
at the TV and the laptop and everything. Yeah.
And he was doing the Merv Hughes with them.
That's
It was wonderful to see. And do you know what? It was fantastic. The atmosphere was brilliant. The noise was fantastic. All because Ben White was jibbing up the crowd in the corner.
We wondered what it was all about, whether their knowledge of cricket was so great that they were cheering, some of the great moments of the match. Now you've, let the cat out of the bag on that one.
Oh,
but well done to Ben.
Were they asking him to do the Merv Hughes, or perhaps?
He was just doing it. And whenever he came into bowl, they were, number nine. It's like they were loving him.
Who else was it? Was it James Kirtley or Darren Gough? I can't remember who it was. About 20 years ago in Australia, I think, did a similar thing. And that sort of warm-up.
I can hear a few of our viewers, though, saying, what on earth's the Merv Hughes? Can you explain it?
Or even the younger viewers asking who Darren Gough and James Kirtley are, yeah.
No.
He was swinging his arms above his head and sort of pretending to warm up, and all the kids behind him were doing the same thing.
Mind you, Jay Boynton's made a career out of that, hasn't it? Oh, there's a possible stumping now.
Just goes through on the angle there from short house.
When Jay bowls, he waves his arms around like he's about to take off.
He does do that. He's conducting the orchestra as he walks in. It's
brilliant.
Fantastic.
I'm sure he does it to just put the batsman off. Never seen another cricketer ever do that before. Maybe he picked it up from somewhere in Yorkshire, I don't know.
Every opportunity he's probably picked it up from up there.
The closest I can think of is, it's played beautifully through the covers, and the race is on. The ball against the fielder.
Great bit of fielding.
Hollingsworth out there. He's done very well. And gets the ball back.
And that's a great return there to the wicket-keeper.
The closest I can think of in terms of resemblance to that action is Harbhajan Singh. The way he moved his arms a little bit like that on the way, and that's the only, I can't think of anyone else that's similar, but that ball's a bit shorter and straight to backward point gully. But
they've run through 3 overs of Shorthouse in the power play. There's 6 overs gone, 37 for 1 in the power play. Not a bad score. That's kind of a middling sort of score. It's not the 24 for 2 that the Army had on Tuesday. 37 for 1, that's okay, especially when you lost a wicket early doors.
Absolutely. Yeah, Fuller, it seems, will be coming on. Jack Fuller, who bowled very well on Tuesday against the Army. And a guy who gets through his work quickly, and always quick back to his mark, always sprints around in the field as well. Full of energy, Jack Fuller. He's placing his field here as we enjoy this late afternoon, early evening sunshine. And trying to smash that back, Ben Johnson, and that should have enough on it.
Not going to be stopped.
Straight into the nets, at the pavilion.
That's power. That's
that
pure power.
That's welcome to the crease stuff, isn't it, for Jack Fuller's first ball?
It really is. A bit of a rude awakening in many ways.
It's not let him settle. That is purely, I'm not letting you settle.
And again, he goes
for it again, but he's bowled him. Well,
Well,
what a response by Jack Fuller. Johnson going one too many times, it seems, across the line. And stumps splattered there by that Fuller delivery.
I was just going to say, Johnson, he was scoring a run of ball, basically, but he goes for 19. That was a terrific delivery, and the kidology game certainly worked there, didn't it? Johnson maybe thought he had the better of him, but he absolutely didn't. It was a brilliant delivery to remove that danger man, Johnson, who was dangerous in the Army game as well. But he's gone, and that really maybe has swung things a bit in favour of the RAF, even at this early stage.
It just looked ugly, that shot, and I think was unnecessary. Yes, it's the short boundary that side. Yes, he just clubbed him down the ground for 4, but it looked like a proper hack, that, and for the captain, that's actually quite poor.
Yeah, not
There'll be
nice way.
a teacup flying around in the dressing room later as a result of that one.
You'll not want to watch that one back too quickly, I dare say. Fuller, what a way to respond as well. We saw what Johnson was trying to do, trying to hammer him, as you say, almost out of the attack, not let him settle. but just kept his cool, Fuller, and bowled him.
41 for 2.
And now he's got the upper hand, Fuller. He's clubbed down the ground for 4, and Fuller's probably going, oh, heck, you know, what do I do now? And now he's got a wicket, and he's on top. New batter in. What's the new batter going to do?
And that new batter, Brendan Strather, the wicket-keeper, who made a good contribution to the Navy total against the Army, needs to do the same thing again.
Hasn't spent much time off the crease in the last sort of half hour. Yeah, he's back in now in this final game of the tournament.
I often wondered, you know, what the best position to have in a cricket 11 is. And I remember talking to someone who said, oh, it's got to be wicket-keeper because you're in the game all the time. So, but you never get a chance to bowl, though. But you're in the game all the time. And, of course, if you're batting as well. So
Yeah.
You've got to be brave or stupid to be a wicket-keeper. Or both.
yeah.
Yeah, I tried it once a number of years ago. Didn't particularly enjoy it. Thought I'll stick to my batting, and I was batting anyway, of course, but stick to bowling a few overs too. It's yeah, I take my hat off to those guys.
Alan Knott, obviously,
Knott,
is the man who lives in Cyprus, or certainly was in Cyprus. Whether he's still there, I think he's still with us, isn't he? The great Alan Knott.
Great man.
And could never keep still. He was always fidgeting around.
Oh, and that's not far away from Ross Diver, that sweep. And he's looking at the ground now. And, well, that would have been a very interesting catch.
Navy approaching 50, but they've lost 2 important wickets. If you're just joining us, we're live here on our Forces News YouTube channel for our live coverage here from the IST20 here at Lords. We've had 2 terrific matches so far, with the MCC women getting the better of the UK Combined Services, our UK Armed Forces team, and also we've just had the second match, obviously the Army-Navy game. The Army made 148 for 8 in their 20 overs, and in reply the Navy just falling short on 132 for 8, which has set us up for a very interesting final match here. The Navy, they can still win this title, but the run rates, or the run level, has got to be in their favour. The RAF, though, they know a win will be enough by any score.
Tusif Ahmed now into the attack for the Royal Air Force. Didn't have the easiest of first overs the other day when he came into the attack. That dry surface in Southampton. Got a bit of tap. He's in now. Keeper Sutcliffe up to the stumps. Oh, and that's fairly wide.
Yeah, I like Tusif. He's a canny little bowler. And he's not a bad bat either. I've seen a little bit of him, and he looks a decent player. And I'm pleased he's got his opportunity in the inter-services this year.
Yeah, that's great for him, and that's well, that's gone through the hands, and 4 runs again for Robbins.
The fielder needs to do better than that. That's pretty much straight at him.
It's brought the 50 up for the Navy as well. So, and we've had what, just 7.5 overs, 7.2 overs, 7.3 overs of this game. 13 to go. That's definitely a wide.
Yeah, very wide there, almost off the cut strip that time.
There's a fine line with trying to keep it outside off stump and bowling it wide. And it's a horrible, horrible place to be for a bowler, where you just can't quite get it right.
Oh, it's much straighter this time, but I tell you what, right into his swinging arc, and 6 runs it is for Robbins.
Onto the short boundary. Robbins moves on to 27. It could be a very important innings this for the Navy.
So he's bowled that. So he's bowled the previous one far too wide, and now he's bowled that one far too straight.
Overcorrection.
Yeah, really was a massive overcorrection that time. He just needs to find somewhere on the radar, halfway between the two.
Yeah, Robbins in good form today here at Lords. That innings earlier, 44 as well. Oh, he's gone again, and it's another 6.
Another 6. I'm not going to stop that. So 12 so far from these last 2 deliveries. This is exactly what the Navy need. if they're going to have a chance of winning this title, get as big a score on the board as they can, and then hope they can bowl the RAF out. But not so good then from the man from Abbey Wood, Flight Lieutenant Tusif Ahmed. You say he had a bit of a rough time in his early doors in his bowling down at Southampton.
Got a bit of tap in that game. Ball comes in from Hollingsworth. And, just a single this time, but the Navy trying to get that impetus and build a bit of momentum here.
I would say that 160 has to be minimum in this innings to give themselves the best opportunity to restrict them to, well, 139 or less. You know, the average score has been roughly about 140 here today. So if they're going to try and restrict them, it's got to be 160.
Nicely played off the pads.
I think they're well aware of that. The Navy well aware of that, what they've got to do, and you can tell just in, you know, how they are responding here. From an RAF point of view, I'm sure that Adam Fisher is just saying, we need to get another wicket, we need to break this partnership up as quickly as we can, particularly with the performance of Robin so far, who has looked very, very comfortable. And if he's knocking off those boundaries on the short boundary over there, then they've got a real opportunity. Wearing number 13. Straight over the bowler's head, and that's going to go.
Fielders doing their utmost,
No,
and it's going for
can't
four.
stop it. They just can't stop it.
Great placing, right between the two fielders. Both fielders dived, neither could get to it. That's and pressure on Fuller again now. Can he do exactly the same as he did in the last over? There's pressure on him again.
And he responded magnificently, didn't he, last time with Sam Morby. Strather, who has quickly moved on to 7 with that boundary.
Footer in. A bit wider this time, and gone straight to the man at extra cover.
John Hawke from RAF Odium was the man there in the extra cover position. Cut out a certain boundary there.
A bit straighter again and worked off the hips. In on the bounce to the keeper.
The one thing that's been really nice about today is to see lots and lots of people from all 3 services and all ages, from all walks of life. It's wonderful. This is a super day. Pavilion is busy, and it's lovely to see. All the boxes are busy, and you can absolutely be assured the wine has flowed in there today. Because 1 or 2 people that I've seen have been and returned. Yes, healthy. It's just a super day for everybody on this day. It's a great day of cricket.
Well, the only variable is the weather, isn't it? If you've got, you know, we're so lucky again, bright sunshine now, it's been dry all day, but it's just the weather can spoil it, obviously, and we've had a couple when we've been restricted to just 2 games because of weather. And if the weather does intervene, you can't really get the 3 games in. And that's obviously disappointing for everyone involved. But today, it's not one of those days. And you're quite right, Richard. We're probably a bit biased, but I can't think of anything better, really, than being here to watch cricket like this at the home of the game.
Magnificent.
We're so lucky.
It's fairly wide and called wide by the umpire.
I'll be back here in a couple of weeks' time. If you look at the wide shot of the ground, there is a pitch under a green mat right in the middle of the square.
Indeed.
And that will be for the World Test Championship final in early June. Starts on the 11th of June.
Excellent.
Right in the middle of the square, as you'd expect, for the showpiece of the World Test Championship.
Ball's up in the air, but it's going to land safe. Oh, it's no. Oh, Shorthouse almost getting there. Great effort. Not quite taking the catch. That would have been some catch. He's annoyed with himself, but it wasn't easy.
Robbins moves on to 37. The Navy move on to 74 for 2.
That showpiece event, of course, Australia, South Africa in that World Test Championship final. And as you say, right in the middle of the square. Worth in again, and cut powerfully.
Well stopped by the captain there, Fisher.
And word with his bowler.
The first one of those World Test Championship finals was held in bubble conditions in Southampton, because they had the hotel on the ground, so they just played it there and just used the hotel as the ground. Not many people in. It was COVID time, 2021. Very strange times, but me staying in a hotel about 4 miles from my house was a bit bizarre.
I think they allowed, was it 4,000 or so in that, and Shorthouse is going to take the catch this time though, and Hollingsworth celebrates.
Yep.
Fantastic, another wicket for the Royal Air Force.
And it's a danger man, Robbins, who's gone as well. That's a big wicket for the Air Force.
Another time short of his half century. 37, 74 for 3 now the score into the 10th over of this match. And my word, that's a big wicket.
It's a big blow for the Navy. He was playing super well, 37 off 27, playing a fantastic innings, and was the anchor in the innings. And now they've got 2 fairly new batters in. Strithers only faced 8 balls, and Marks is a good player. Don't get me wrong, Finley Marks is a fine player. He's in the UCAF picture, but that was a big loss to lose when he did, especially looking to get that 160 score. He could have done it if he'd stayed in, but he's gone now.
Sort of player that can take the game away from you very quickly. The power you mentioned before as well, Richard.
Absolutely. 37 or 27, that's decent. He's already smacked 2 into the stands, if not more into the stands. But he's gone now, and the Air Force will be delighted that he's gone.
Yes, it's put them very much back on the front foot, hasn't it, here? And so important times then for the Navy captain, who once again finds himself in an important position. Does Finley Marks. Straight into the action, of course.
In the middle of this innings. And Hollingsworth running into bowl once more. And, 2 fairly new batsmen on strike now as well. And, just opened the face and guided that, but no further than Ahmed there. So trying to just take advantage of some of that recent pressure as well, the Air Force. Navy losing what seems to be a fairly key wicket as well. Just having a word with John Hawke. We've seen what he did at the beginning of this innings too. Hollingsworth fairly tidy, as often is the case. Running in as well. Past the umpire. Well, that's a wonderful delivery, and that's just gone around the legs and bowled him. All ends up.
That could possibly be a killer blow. Massive. That's the Navy captain gone for a duck, and brilliant bowling again from Hollingsworth there. Trapped his man.
Fortunate there, I think, as well, coming off the pads, but while Marks looks back and rues what happened, well, the Royal Air Force celebrating 74 for 4. There's a couple of quick wickets there, turning this match.
2 in the over. That's key. That's huge. That's a huge 2 blows in the same over.
I wonder if the Air Force, even at this stage, are smelling victory here in this Inter-Services T20, because that, as you say, a killer blow. So very difficult now for the Navy, you think, to really extend any sort of total they need. And they've got, as you keep saying, Richard, because of the way that it's worked out, they've got to get at least 160 here to really give themselves a realistic chance.
Absolutely, unless they bowl superbly well. You just never know with cricket. But because of that cushion that they don't have, if you like, then you're better trying to restrict to 140 than you are trying to restrict to 120.
And Richard, I think you're going to leave us, aren't you? Because you have other duties to take care of.
I do indeed. Yes, I need to go and do some statistical work. So I shall leave you in peace. But
thank you so much again for your contribution here today. It's been brilliant. Not only your stats, which are amazing, but also your on-field comments as well. Great to have you with us. And and we have another guest joining us as well. So great stuff. And you've got a bit of a smile on your face, haven't you?
Yeah, we've come back into this quite well since the power play, I'd say.
Great to have you alongside, Micah. It's a very interesting period now for the Royal Air Force, and yeah, now we're seeing a bowling change. I think Ross Diver coming on, and well, the pressure being exerted, but a lot of cricket to play, you know, as we saw against in the Navy's game with the Army, and the Army able to bolster their score to a total they were able to defend in the end. So of course Royal Air Force will know that it's not well, that ball's hit out into the air, and that's another catch, another wicket for the Royal Air Force.
Suddenly wickets falling with disappointing regularity if you're a fan of the Royal Navy. And this time it's the wicket-keeper Strapper who's gone, caught after the bowl.
Scott Burdekin bowling.
Yeah. And so this is a great period, isn't it, now for the RAF? 75 for 3 becomes 75 for 5.
Yeah, wonderful stuff there. And we saw on Tuesday just how instrumental Scott Burdekin was in keeping things tight, and how important a bowler he is for you in those middle overs.
Yeah, he's been doing a good job in the middle overs and even up in the power play at times. But now that we've got them down to 5, now it's just going to be contain. I know you're talking about the 160 target potentially for the Navy to get to with net run rates and stuff like that. But I think now we just need to contain and see how little we can chase in the second half.
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? The million-dollar question. What sort of a total is the Navy thinking about at the moment? Obviously, it keeps changing with those recent wickets too. And yeah, the ball just going to the boundary again there. And 3 extra cover, and another important 4 runs for the Navy batsman. And Ben White and Hill in together at the crease. The sun shining down on Lords.
It is, and the sunshine is certainly flowing as far as the light blues are concerned here.
It's fairly straight, and Burdekin almost appealing, I think. Just trying to tuck that off the pads there was White.
You always have to put a token appeal in there just so you don't get wides or anything if it goes past.
And hammered away on the back foot. White again. Just ticking that, trying to keep that run rate ticking, with obviously 5 wickets down now. RAF right in the hunt, try and restrict the Royal Navy to something fairly small and wrap this innings up. But Hill and Ben White coming together. Well, they've got a little bit of time. Still just under 10 overs to bat. Halfway point. And nurdling that into the leg side, and nicely weighted as well. They're looking for 2. They're going to try and come back for 2. And they should make it, which they do. That's fantastic stuff from the Royal Navy. And, well, I mean, coming into today, with that victory on Tuesday, I imagine it was quite a nice place for you and your guys to be in. And obviously having a bit of an eye on the match earlier between the Army and the Navy.
Yeah, it's good. It's always good to come here with a victory under your belt. It makes the stress a little bit easier for the day. It's a lot of waiting around, nervous energy, but at least you know you've got a win under your belt. So the lads are able to relax more and get into the game, and the change room's quite settled as well. So we've been prepped quite well for this now. And with the victory over the Army on Tuesday, it's just in a prime position for us now to go ahead and win this outright for, well, we haven't done it for a couple of years now, have we?
Yeah, for sure. And well, we know what happened last year, of course, on a rain-affected day, and things came down to run rates and everything in the end, and not to be for the Royal Air Force last year. Obviously, Navy defending champions. So this year, with a clear day that we've had so far, a dry day, we're hoping this will be a titanic tussle here between your men and the Royal Navy. And John Hawke, I see, coming back on the ball. He's been so consistent, hasn't he, John Hawke, for you with that new ball and in the middle overs too in these matches?
Yeah, for years now he's done it. He gets crucial wickets at vital times for us as well. He's hard with his accuracy to nearly run out there.
Yeah, very close there.
Very close there. Yeah, he's been a workaholic for us, especially in 50 over stuff as well. 10 overs. He's been a crucial start and finish for us in all the innings that we're bowling in.
I think it's been rather remiss of us, Andy, not to introduce you, by the way, because you've just joined us. We had a quick swap over in the commentary box here. Macca, Sergeant Andy McGeorge, one of the RAF coaches, and thank you so much for coming up here to join us, because this is obviously a really important time for the RAF, and you're doing so well here, 85 for 5, restricting the Navy, as you have been doing, and everyone is doing their job very well, aren't they?
They are doing their job well, and yeah, thank you for having me up here. First time on radio, so this should be interesting. But no, we are in a good position now. Run rate's dropping now down into sevens again. Again, contain this for the next 4 or 5 overs, and hopefully that puts us in a strong position going into the second half. I'm
sure everyone RAF Benson is hanging on your every word today.
On the ramp there, just trying to get over the top of Burdekin, and just landing safe, but spinner chases that and gets it back. 2 runs scored.
Takes them to 87 for 5. Halfway through this 12th over. And suddenly this has changed, hasn't it, dramatically, this game. Obviously the fall of wickets. The Navy were looking so comfortable. But that's the thing about T20. A game can change literally almost on a I don't know, on a halfpenny piece, you know. Is there a halfpenny piece left? No, I don't think we have half peas anymore, do we?
Something to check after the game.
I will. No, I don't think so. No.
Not sure if Macca knows, but yes, I'm not sure myself. And another ramp attempt, a reverse time this time, and well, almost falling over there in the attempt. But well, it's one of the reasons we love cricket, isn't it? You know, all these twists and turns, the ebbs and flows, even the ebbs and flows within a T20 match, which I guess people might not assume. So turns at the top of his mark, comes past the umpire, and fairly straight there. Just played in front of square, and that's another over that they're through. 91 for 5 after 12 overs. It's 8 to go for the Royal Navy. 91 the score, and the Army successfully defending 148 for 8 in the previous match, winning by 16 runs against the Navy. What can the Navy put on the board here to try and put pressure on the Royal Air Force?
I think with this track, and obviously watching that first game with the Army and the Navy as well, I think that 140, 150 target, even if the Navy do get that, I think it's been shown that it's still quite a target to get. You can get there quite easily with these short boundaries and with this track playing so well, as you'd expect, as it's pushed into the covers. But yeah, so I think they need to be looking past what the Army got in that first innings if they want to set a good target.
Yeah.
The reverse attempted, and a massive appeal from Fuller. Umpire not interested.
The shadows really forming across Lords now. This is certainly the best of the day in terms of the weather, as the sun has come out after it's been largely cloudy, hasn't it, here today? And we saw the ball swing so much in the first 2 games today. The Air Force not too bothered about that. What would a win today mean to the RAF, Macca? Because obviously the Navy were the champions last year. The Army dominated for so long too.
Yeah, winning in services always means a lot to all of us.
Ball's gone up
and
towards,
oh.
and it's dropped as well, close to the boundary. Oh, what a chance that was as well. Lofted shot from White.
But yeah, going back to the question, I think for us, it just is the reward for the efforts put in for the lads, not just for one season, but for the years that we've been coming, and we've always been getting close, but just never crossing that line. So I think it would just be a massive achievement, and almost proud of the development that we've had, and it would just be amazing for us, to be honest. Going into the 50 over stuff as well, it will give us a massive boost going into that tournament.
Burnaby Rood, I believe, the venue this year for the IS 50 in the men's competition. Macca, I think, Van Lane last year.
I believe that's right.
Yeah, we both believe it's right. That's good. That's the change between overs. 96 for 5 now after 13.
And the thing that strikes me about your RAF team, you know, is you pull players from virtually every RAF base that exists as well, which is great. You're not just relying on Bryce Norton, the biggest of bases. You know, you've got Coningsby, Wittering, Bryce, Akrotiri as well. So great to see Scott Burdekin coming over from Cyprus to play. RAF Odeon with John Hawke, and MOD Corsham as well with Luke Hansford. RAF Leeming, Ross Diver, of course, and of course your captain Adam Fisher up at RAF College Cranwell. So the whole of the RAF really represented in your team.
It is. We do get them from all parts of the country to come down. But again, that's the dedication. Travelling from Leeming for midweek games back again isn't exactly an easy drive or a nice drive.
Flick off the pads there, and 4 runs for Hill.
But yeah, the dedication for the lads, commuting all that distance to all the games, going from Leeming down to Southampton for the Tuesday game. It's long, it's tiresome, but yeah, there's definitely some heavy commitment put into this, and it's good to see.
All worthwhile when you come to play at Lord's, though, isn't it?
No, exactly.
Yeah. And we believe it's...
What better incentive can you have?
Yeah, Hollingsworth again. It's fairly straight, just hit well past Adam Fisher at extra cover. He's annoyed with himself there. We believe Scott Burdekin flies quite a bit from Cyprus to make, of course, as many matches as he can.
Yeah. Luckily, he is being posted back to the UK later this year, so it won't be so much flying for him. But yeah, it's booking flights, it's admin, it's all this sort of stuff as well that he has to contend with. So, but yeah, it's a good effort, and he's been missing for us for a couple of years whilst he's been out there. But yeah, it's good to have him back.
And it also comes down, of course, to the ability of the commanding officers and section commanders and squadron leaders, etc., to allow players like him, you know, when it's a long distance involved, that's taking him out of his job for possibly 2, maybe 3, 4 days, which is a big ask, you know, in an organisation that's getting smaller.
No, it is, and we are finding it obviously a bit more of a challenge, but luckily we have got that support from the hierarchy across the defence that are allowing us to come, and there was a massive engagement earlier this morning with all the chain of command and stuff, so it's good to reward them also for allowing them to release the lads to come and play for us.
Certainly is. Should say the Navy now past 100, 102 for 5. They keep scoring along. Hill and White moving into double figures here. So the Navy not out of this by any means yet, and they've still got 6 overs and 2 balls left. So they've still got the chance here to get a defendable total, a total that might just pose an issue or two for the Air Force, but the Air Force, I think, still probably in the driver's seat here.
No, it's too well. It was started straight and went down leg, and signalled wide.
What was that I said about the sun shining?
Commentators cursing.
A nice little black rain cloud has sort of come over the southern part of London.
Let's not mention rain, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really want Duckworth Lewis involved, do we? Yeah.
No. Thankfully, earlier those dark clouds just provided no more than a tiny bit of drizzle. Hopefully, nothing more for the rest of the day.
It is nice up here, nice and warm compared to out there, though, I must admit. Having just come from out there, it is quite cold.
Quite cold, yeah. A bit of a breeze as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
Duckworth Lewis has only ever been involved in one result here. at Lords. That was back in 2014 when the Army beat the Navy and won it under the Duckworth-Lewis method. Duckworth-Lewis also came in when the Navy played the Air Force. Actually, in 2023, when the Air Force won by 7 wickets, that was down at Portsmouth. Just so we're absolutely right on the stats. Hollingsworth again, and
Across the line there, but that's going
to go for 4.
go for 4 up to the pavilion.
Batsmen will take it anywhere they get it. The 4's a 4 in the book.
4's a 4, yeah. Ben White just getting a quick breather and some water as Ahmed removes his jumper and gets ready to come back into the attack for the RAF.
These two are starting to build a nice little partnership for the Navy here. It would be good to get one of these out in the next overall 8 balls, I'd hope, just to help them, or just to stop them from this rebuild, because they are rebuilding quite well at the moment.
And on the other hand, the Navy, of course, anxious for this partnership to continue. Hill on 20 now from 17 balls, and White on 10 from the 7 deliveries that he's faced.
Ahmed in. Fairly straight, fairly full as well. Just digging that out, Ben White, and the run too. That was a fairly well weighted shot out into the leg side.
Pushed away by White there, who, as we found out earlier, has his own fan club amongst some of the school children here at Lords, who are cheering his every move. And no doubt they've now gone home after a full day at school and are all tuning into our coverage here on BFBS Forces News YouTube channel.
Supporting their man in the middle.
Absolutely.
Scoring another run there. They'll be cheering that on the TV or the laptops. Yeah, great to see them getting involved. Always great to hear the noise they make every year. There's school children that have the pleasure of coming to watch. Went in and fairly straight and just knocked out into the leg side again. They'll not get too.
Oh, they're
go
going
for
2
and fairly close, but well run in the end.
Yeah, they're just taking every opportunity they can. But that was very, very close to a run out.
Slightly more better throw, and that's gone, I think.
Yeah.
If I'm honest.
Yeah. Yes, one you can pick up on a bit later.
Just nudged back up past the bowler. Keep it to 1 this time.
Interesting that Ahmed he started his stint, didn't he, at the nursery end, and he's moved to the pavilion end to complete his stint.
I've seen that a couple of times today. Some bowlers perhaps just not happy with the way the slope is at their end, or perhaps the way they've been bowling around the crease.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely feel a bit more happier from that end. Obviously negates the short boundary on the leg side, which most seamers are going to be happy about.
Yeah, who'd be a bowler, eh?
I never was.
Last ball of the 15th over then.
Oh,
and it's out.
Straight to Ross Diver.
Well,
sharp catch.
That's some good hands there. That was travelling.
It was moving quickly. If he'd not been watching that well enough, I think he might have had a broken finger or a broken thumb or something. But celebrating that, and it was a really good shot as well. And he can't believe it, to be honest.
Hill.
Nathan Hill, that's out. The man from 4-2 Commando, the Royal Marine. But he has gone. Hill has been removed from a very good score of 23 out of the 114 that the Navy have amassed so far. They go to 114 for 6.
The RAF have been in a strong position for a while in this game, and to say it would be timely is maybe not the right word, but certainly a good time for them to take a wicket. Just as you say, John, those two are developing that partnership.
Well, Maka, you said you wanted that wicket and you got your wish.
Yeah, it's perfect timing almost. But yeah, no, I think that was good. I think we needed it to stop that build, because I think they were setting it up for that back end, where now hopefully that delays that a little bit more and just helps us restrict this target.
So Lieutenant Simon Morris takes to the wicket, wearing number 5 for the Navy.
John Hawke at the nursery end. Keeper up to the stumps. 114 for 6, 5 overs to go. Total can the Navy put on the board here?
30 deliveries left. Plenty of runs still, but that partnership broken, so a lot now hanging on Ben White. And he's going for it straight away. And Ross Diver again dives in to make the stop.
He's had these saved all day, Macca. He's got a sheet somewhere. I haven't seen it, but he definitely got a sheet somewhere with all these guys.
When you have a 2-hour journey on the train, you know, you've got to fill your time, you know, productively.
Were you asking the other passengers for their thoughts, were you, as well?
Absolutely. Well, someone was actually sat in my seat that I'd booked. But she was a pregnant lady, so I didn't particularly want to move her.
Oh, and another catch, and straight to Ross Diver as well.
Diver again, yeah.
Making a habit of this in this game. Sharp catch, and
well,
it's the end of Morris.
Yeah, he's gone for a duck, and
first bowler as well.
Yeah, the RAF have just had these moments, haven't they, when they've just been able to just really turn the screw.
Prize those wickets out.
Yeah, they've done it once again, and it's put them in a very, very strong position now. 7 wickets down, only 3 wickets left for the Navy, and 115 looks a very doable score, but they've still got some overs left. So if you're the Navy, what do you do now? Do you just push it out and just get as many runs as you can, or do you go for it and, you know, take the risk of missing out on your full 20 overs?
I don't know. I think looking at it, if I was going to try and advise, you've just got to hit the pockets, run your 1s and 2s hard, take your advantages of the boundary when it becomes available. But it is now just making sure that you push into gaps, run your 1s hard, try to convert them into 2s like you've seen when they've pushed it into the leg side on the big boundary. That's what they need to do. Whether they do it, we'll find out in a short amount of time.
So John Hawke again, preparing then to see whether he can add to his total of wickets. It's a good delivery again, and just played out by the newcomer.
Not giving him any real room there. Of course, there is a short boundary on that side, but first ball for Walton. Walton, who got a bit of a send-off against Gabriel in that match against the Army. Played out deep extra cover. Here comes the ball from Tom Stephan.
RAF 116 for 7. Sorry, the Navy 116 for 7.
And trying to open his arms there a little bit. It will be cut off.
Doesn't make it to the boundary. Good fielding once more for the Air Force.
Yeah, trying to keep things tight here. Yep. 118 for 7.
Yeah, turning the screw here, which Adam Fisher will be delighted about. Oh, what a delivery.
All through the gates.
Absolutely.
Wonderful stuff from John Hawke. And celebrates, arms in the air. And that's the end of Ben White.
Yep, that is a crucial wicket. And you just feel now that maybe the Navy challenge is really coming to an end here. Certainly with the bat. They're going to have to do a miraculous effort with the ball. The 8th wicket down, and Ben White goes for 17. Faced 13 deliveries altogether, but that again was a terrific delivery.
Yeah, getting into the tail here now.
Well, its wickets are very, very scarce now for the senior service, and what a performance from Hawke as well. That's what his second wicket, isn't it? And he's done really well here, and I think this contribution he's made over the last few minutes has been absolutely telling.
Yeah, I think he's brought us into this game now again, taking those 2 quick wickets in that 1 over, finishing with his figures of 4 overs, 2 for 29. It's been vital, getting the in player out as well. So now we're starting with 2 new bats again. We've got to find their way. It's just going to aid dropping this total that we're going to have to chase in the end.
Well, and there's still 4 overs left, of course. And you know, in T20, you've got to use all your overs, haven't you? If you don't you know, if you lose all your wickets, it's very, very difficult to see anything other than an RAF victory at the moment. But the Navy will carry on, and they will keep it going right until the very end. What can these two men do, Walton and Chadwick?
Well, the thing is, with the T20 as well, you're looking at it now and you're going, well, there's what it was 24, there's 23 balls. You're looking at minimum run a ball. That still gets them over the 140 mark. So can they get there? Let's see.
Here comes Ahmed again, and watchfully defended out into the offside. Picked up by the skipper, Adam Fisher. Back to Ahmed, the bowler.
Leading hand, James Chadwick, based at HMS Iron Duke. It's suddenly gone a bit darker again here at Lord's.
Oh, well through there from the bowler. A little bit fuller. Yeah, just a bit gloomy, as you say, John.
There's sunshine behind it. I can see it.
Good.
Ahmed again comes in. This must be his last over.
A bit straight on
One
the pads.
to go. Yeah.
He's recovered quite well from his first over going for 18. So he's only gone for another 10 or 11 in the next two. So he is recovered quite well, yeah.
A bit of a repeat performance from the other day at Southampton then, if I remember rightly, or if you remember rightly.
Yeah, I remember the ball disappearing down the road somewhere.
Yes, it did. Still looking for that, potentially.
120 for 8, though. It's still a total, and they've still got just another 3 overs and 1 ball to go.
They've still got the runs on the board. Yep, as that ball goes into the air, and that's coming all the way out to the boundary, and just not quite reaching the man.
And Tom Stephen makes the so it was Ross Diver, was it? Yeah, sorry.
No, Diver's out there.
No, that's Luke Hansford down on the...
Luke Hansford's got the 12 jumper on, and just maybe a few changes yes,
to the info we were given, but
yeah, I think they're wearing jumpers, obviously mentioning the cold, so I think he's just got a different jumper on, that's all.
Always handy for a commentator, isn't it? The players change their
Hansford, who played so beautifully on Tuesday. Hansford, who assisted Tom Shorthouse in that innings against the Army, and spoke very well afterwards, I thought. Seems a very powerful player, but played within himself, I think, Mac, on Tuesday, it would be fair to say.
I think they just played to situation, if I'm honest. They were winning the battles. They didn't need to take the risks, so they could play within themselves and still
that's wide.
But yeah, and still get over the line.
That'll suit the Navy, as many of those as they can have. That's the 14th extra that the RAF have conceded in this innings. And you do look at the extras sometimes, you think, actually, these are quite important. If you look at where that is on the runs scored, it's, what about number 5 so far? That's a nicely taken shot, and that's gone for 4.
One bounce 4 into the advertising boardings, and lovely pick up off the legs there.
The Navy can get to 140 by being sensible, playing it sensibly. Chadwick certainly did that. Then they still feel they might have a chance. Is it fingernail biting time yet, Macca?
No, cool, calm, collected. No, there'll be no panic. I can't see a panic happening. It should all be cool, calm, collected. The lads know what they would need to do.
That's going for another boundary. I don't think he's going to stop that, is he?
Backward of square, and that's over the rope. 4 runs.
That's another 4 off this over. So proving a bit expensive.
Still RAF in the driving seat. 131 for 8, the Royal Navy. Hollingsworth just...
all credit to Chadwick here for going for it. And James Chadwick.
guess as a batsman, it gives you a bit of license sometimes when you think you've no choice, you have to do it. And that's well played again.
Beautifully played again. And come back for 2. Adds to his score, takes him to 11 from just 6 deliveries received.
Hollingsworth in again. Comes past the umpire. And Full in a full toss this time, which is dispatched.
It's another 4. This is a great over for the Navy. It's exactly what they needed. There's no room for complacency here from the Royal Air Force. They know that there's still the chance, there's balls to be delivered, deliveries to come. And this is a really good knock from Chadwick here. He's settled in really quickly. There's James Chadwick, and RAF just having to reconsider things a little bit.
Yeah, just pulling in a couple of fielders there.
Macra, it's all gone quiet from your side at the moment.
I'm just busy looking out onto the field. Yeah, they're bringing up this fine leg, pushing out deep square. That's where the last 2 have gone. Yeah, I think having the position that they're in, and this is probably helping the Chadwick. He's got no choice. He's just
nothing to lose. Yeah.
But I'm still not worried about this at the minute. I don't think. Maybe 150 they can get from here now.
Well, that would be a good score. And he's
bump ball, I think, there, played back to the bowler, and yeah, 2 overs to go, as you say. 150, only 13 runs away now.
Very, very useful runs there for Luke Chadwick for the Royal Navy. Walton is still there on 4. He'll now be facing this the next 2 penultimate over. That's just trying to phrase it properly.
Yeah, there's a change of bowling now, and Jack Fuller's back in from the pavilion end.
Yeah, 18 overs done, 137 for 8. Fuller coming on. What a luxury as well, Macca, that you can have a spinner that can bowl these death overs so effectively as well. Not to say that spinners can't, but it's perhaps become a cliche, hasn't it, that you get a pace bowler to bowl those Yorkers in, but someone with control like Jack Fuller, well, he's great to have.
Well, yeah, he's got great figures there, 119 of 3 overs. It is good, but also taking the pace off makes it harder to hit, especially where he's bowling from on that pavilion end with that big leg side boundary. Without the pace, it does make it harder for the batsman.
$138 for 8 is the score here. The Navy have recovered really well after what looked to be a disastrous spell for them.
He played back up the wicket, Jack Fuller. He's pulling well, and he gets quickly through his overs as well, Macca. That's another mark, I think, of him as a bowler. It makes it more difficult for the batters to set themselves. Just squirts out there.
Yeah, I think if you look at Jack Fuller and also Tom Schwarz, they both get through their overs very quickly, and it just unsettles the batsman because they're not ready or have to be ready very quickly. So it just unsettles them, and it helps us get through our overs quickly to buy us time when we need it.
It's Ariel again. It's a
great boundary.
4.
And this time it is Walton who has got there, takes him to 9, and 143 for 8. A score which we thought would probably be beyond the Navy at some stage just a few minutes ago, but this is a great recovery from them.
Well, full marks to Chadwick and Walton.
Yeah.
Slog sweep being very effective today, and even with that longer boundary out towards the pavilion. Just 1 ball left in his day's work as a bowler, and that's nicely bowled and restricting him to a dot as well from Jack Fuller.
So that's the penultimate over, just 1 over to go here. 143 for 8. If they can get to 150, that is a meaningful total for the Navy to defend and for the RAF to get to. A bit different from the 115 just, what, 3 or 4 overs ago, Macca?
Yeah, it is, and that 1 over from Hollingworth, he has helped them along the road. Now we've got Tom Shorthouse coming in to finish up the innings for the RAF to Chadwick. So let's see how this goes. But I can see Shorthouse being pretty tight here and hopefully hiding it outside the off stump.
Getting very close to what the Army scored in previous match. Successfully defended, of course, 148
Indeed.
for 8. 143 for 8, the Royal Navy have. They'll be cognizant of what happened, of course, to them last match. As Shorthouse comes in round the wicket. Oh, very tight. Just pushes it across with the angle as well. Leaves you guessing, doesn't it, Macca, in terms of where it's coming.
He's very good at getting them to slide and turn, so you don't actually know which one. So he beats both edges, which is always good to see.
And ball
Digs
going
it out.
short third. Back in.
And if you look at the Army game as well, so what was it, 148 that the Navy did actually get quite close. If you think they lost, what was it, 20 odd runs, but that's not too far away in a T20 game, especially with the boundary sizes that we've got.
Yeah, the Navy got to 132 in their 20 overs, and yeah, it wasn't that far. There's a crucial innings actually for the Army to get that extra 20 runs, which was the difference in the end.
Oh, and that's skewed off the outside edge, falling safely though. Looked for a second as if it was going to hang in the air, landing well short.
Just 2 balls left of this Navy innings.
Can they get to 150?
Yeah, 146 is a decent score. And they just take the single in the end. 147. So we get to 148. It's been a lot of similar scores have been
Yes.
kicking around in this this championship today.
And each of the 3 matches in this men's competition. 142 for 8, 148 for 8, 147 for 8 with the ball to go. He doesn't like a bit of symmetry, and that's in the air.
Oh, and that's going for 4. Is
would
it?
have been
No, it's he just took it out, didn't he? Just took the pace out of that.
Would have been a beautiful diving catch. John Hawke there with the outstretched arm, and Fuller on the boundary getting that in, and the Royal Navy finished their innings on 149 for 8. Wonderful stuff from them.
Which means the Air Force need 150.
We'll get it.
I love the confidence there. It's brilliant.
He's got a confident look on his face, so I'm not surprised.
And the Royal Navy batsmen will be fairly happy trudging off, given their exploits. Chadwick 20 not outs, Walton as well playing his part, giving them something to defend, especially given what we saw from the Army earlier. And
A couple of wickets for Hawke and Hollingsworth there, and spreading those wickets around for the Air Force, and all pretty frugal at the end of the day.
I think you'll find the Navy are going to be happy with that. They've got the runs on the board, haven't they? So we've still got to go knock them off.
You've got to score them, and we know how quickly a game can change. You know, if players get bogged down, batsmen get bogged down, they get a bit frustrated, they get a bit worried, and suddenly, you know, it can all change.
I think the big thing is that we just don't lose wickets like the Navy did in clusters.
Well, it's a great joy to have Kath joining us just on commentary, just in this little spell, while while
I've seamlessly morphed from Simon Hunter to Kath Brazier.
Yeah.
It's how we roll in the sports team, isn't it, John?
It is indeed, and it's been good seeing you down there, getting all these nice interviews in between today.
Yes, it gets to this point in the day, and less people are answering their phones. I think there's some joy for the Army, and some joy for other people who've been enjoying the Lord's hospitality, and so they should, because if I wasn't working here, John, I'd be doing the same. So yes, you get less and less interviews as the day goes on.
Indeed.
I'm not implying anything bad by that, by the way.
Yeah, interviews that we can broadcast anyway.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, that was a classic T20 innings there for the Navy. It just went from one extreme to the other. They started confidently, then suddenly wickets started to fall, and you think, oh, they're going to really slip behind here, and it's going to be a bit of a doddle for the RAF. But it just doesn't work like that, does it? It really doesn't.
Well, interestingly, you know, the two Army innings we've seen, I mean, actually against the RAF at Utility Bowl in Hampshire, the Army pretty much fell apart from the beginning, but in the end put a A score on the board. It was probably below par for the nursery ground at Utility Bowl, but the same thing here. The Army come on and fell apart, but actually in the end they got 148. So that's a pretty good score, and like we've just seen, the Navy have just posted 149. I'm not, obviously I'm neutral, Macca, but having seen the RAF play the other day, I felt that they had the stronger all-round attack and defence, if that makes sense. So I think they've got really strong bowlers and they've got really strong batsmen. I hope I'm not jinxing them now. But I think they've got a better mix of the two in comparison to the Navy and the Army. So I'm really confident that if Tom Shorthouse gets in again, for example, here, we could see these put away quite quickly. But like you said, anything can happen, and I don't want to jinx anything because I've been doing that recently for a lot of people. So
Please don't jinx it.
The curse of Camp
Please.
Brazier. Yes, but that's why we love T20, isn't it? Because it can turn on a tuppence, and it's nice if the weather holds that we're finally, after a few years of number crunching, we're actually going to have probably, hopefully, a sort of.
Got three.
A win-win situation.
Yeah, absolutely. 4 games in effect, obviously, including the women's game this morning, which was a bit of a cracker as well. Macca, what will Adam Fisher be saying to the boys now?
In the change room, you'll be just going through the players, just saying, look, you need to just execute your game, execute your skills, play your shots, hit the boundaries hard. Doesn't mean you have to take risks, doesn't mean it always has to be in there. Hit the pockets, run hard. Hit the fielders hard, left, right, the runs will come. Like you say, the Army had a misfire in the beginning, still managed to get to a target. The Navy's misfired in the middle, still got to a target. So it's just making sure that our lads go out there and do their skills, what they are good at. If it's your shot and you back yourself, take it, if it's the right one.
Mackie, you probably will correct me here, but it's interesting, isn't it? Because the perspective we've got here from up here, this boundary towards the grandstand is so short. It has been used. Obviously, there've been quite a few 6s and 4s scored that way. But is it the way that the bowlers haven't been letting them launch over this side because it's such a short boundary? You'd think it's such an easy hit for a 6, but actually we haven't seen as many as I thought there would be.
Yeah, I think. Look, we've been coming here for numerous years now.
But different wickets every time.
Different wickets up and down the hill.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think everyone's got better at hiding the ball, trying to get hit to the big side. So we as players are getting better at doing that. And the batsmen are still finding it harder to actually get to or access that boundary. Even at Utility Bowl, that was a really short boundary.
It was, yeah.
And still there wasn't that many boundaries or 6s hit there. But so I think the bowlers are learning and we're training towards having that short boundary. That's why. Yeah,
it's definitely been noticeable because, you see that boundary and you think, well, I could hit that at least 6 times out of 10, but actually, and I think that speaks to the skills of your bowlers and military, cricket as a whole, really. That you're at that level where you can think like that. It's not just throw the ball down and hope for the best, is it? So it's been some great. And Lewis has nearly been our cameraman in the grandstand. Has come close a couple of times.
Is he on that top tier?
No, he's actually on the lowest tier, but a couple of 6s have come very close to him, and many champagne corks. If I could get back to yes, a lot of the cheering has been.
I just spotted him now. Actually, he's just been taking a shot of us actually up in the commentary box here. But these extra views are so valuable for us, particularly for the replays, because you see things in real time and think, well, that was close, but in fact it wasn't, and you think, oh, why is the umpire not given a wide there? And then you see the replay and you realise. And the standard of officiating today has been absolutely fantastic, as it always is, of course. I think it's just such a professional setup now, isn't it? And all credit to everyone involved today. That Forces Cricket has got this has now got this standing here at the home of the game. I mean, you go away from here thinking, oh, I can't wait until next year.
And talking about the officiating, actually, John, you're right. It is a really professional operation, and they're really keen to get more UK Armed Forces umpires up to scratch. And they will be, you know, this summer actually we're hoping to do a bit of a focus piece on the officials, often the forgotten men and women, you know, of a...
Without
Yes, exactly. Many times, I think every sports awards you get that.
Absolutely. Well, you copied me this year at the UK Armed Forces Sports
Well, you wrote
Awards.
the script. Written there already, so I took it. But yeah, they are unsung heroes. All those words are true. And yeah, we're hoping to do a bit of a focus piece on them because they're training a lot of people up over this summer. And obviously, the same as the players we see out here, they are full-time military personnel, and you know, but they've chosen the path of umpiring.
But I think there's another point to be made here, Kath, as well. And I was with another Macca over the last few days out in Amsterdam, obviously with the UK Armed Forces women's football team. Danny McNamara, who is the football manager of the Wolves women's team, RAF sergeant, and you know, he is full-time as manager of Wolves. And that is an elite sports post that he has within the RAF.
It's the first time they've done that.
It's the only time it's been done so far for officials, and with the success, he could even be manager of the year this year at his particular level in women's football, and that would be an extraordinary achievement. But he's being allowed to do what he does best inside the framework of the Royal Air Force. And, you know, it will be good to see more officials getting those opportunities just as the players are, because, you know, coaches like yourself, you know, Macca, you know, you give so much, and there's always that opportunity maybe to take it a stage further for maybe when you leave the service.
No, definitely. And I'm saying this across all sports in the military. I think anybody listening to any of this, if they want to play a sport, give it a go. But that doesn't mean that you only have to play sport. Everything else around it, your officials and stuff like that, every sport's going to need them for generations to come. So if you want to get involved, I would highly suggest the career I've had through cricket, having played for 15 years and now moved into the coaching side of life, I would never get it anywhere else. And I've had a good career doing it.
There are so many great jobs that can be done, and you just feel you're putting things back. I mean, talking to Amanda Potgieter earlier on as well, you know, she's now working in Italy at the moment.
Yeah, amazing.
And doing an incredible job out there, coaching Italian women players to spread this game a bit further around the world. It's right at the start of my career when I worked at the BBC up in Hull. One of the first games
Not quite Rome.
Not quite Rome. I was actually in Cleethorpes at the time, but minor counties match between Lincolnshire and Sri Lanka. Look where Sri Lanka are now. You know, it's not that long ago. Well, it's a few years ago, but I think that's the point you're making, that this game needs to be seen by as many people as possible, and not just limited to the nations that we expect to see here at Lord's. Who knows how long it might be before we get an Italian team coming here.
Well, it's like you say, it's sort of, you look at rugby, you know, the nations that sort of have come up, and 20 years ago they were, even Argentina to a certain extent, I would say 20 years ago in rugby were, you know, a bit of a misnomer, and now they're a powerhouse really in that sense. But
in the men's and women's game.
Yeah. And, you know, England playing Zimbabwe today, you know, that's... they've been around for a long time, and I think they're ever developing. Probably didn't have the best of days today by the sounds of things, but yeah, it does offer you, you know, we're all sports fans here, so it's good to see, and I hope that Amanda Potgieter has made her flight, and we didn't keep her too long. So
she was very patient with us.
Good, bless her. Yeah, we have put the ask out there to see if any of the Army players would like to come and join us on the commentary team, and I know you guys would love to speak to Jay, because this will be his last year. He has been very firm in saying it's only in 2020. He wants to still be around for the 50 overs. But God, I mean, John, Jay Boynton, he's pretty ageless. He's been playing for years.
Well, you look at his stats. I mean, you know, all you need to do is look what he has achieved in Army cricket over the years. obviously we now extend that to 28 matches because Richard just updates these stats as we go. But up until today, he'd scored 430 runs. That was just in T20 alone, and with the ball, you know. 61 overs, that's obviously gone up now a little bit more, and you know, he took 3 wickets today, you know, and so, you know, he's an incredible player and role model for the game in the army. And you talked about, you know, encouraging young people maybe to join the forces so they can play sport like this. I mean, you know, if you're a young serviceman or servicewoman and you're watching today and thinking, oh my goodness, I love cricket, I can actually play here at Lord's on this hallowed turf. It's a mouth-watering prospect if you're a 14, 15, 16-year-old who loves playing cricket, and you know, you could join the forces and you can play here. I mean, wow.
Yeah, it's something else actually.
Have I just sold the idea to a few people, hopefully?
Well, I'm not 15, 16 anymore, but yeah, if I had my time again, I think I would have liked to have picked up a cricket bat. It's certainly one of my favourites, and to be honest, even walking around the boundary with a camera is enough for me.
You just take it all in, don't you?
Yeah, it's brilliant, and look how glorious the weather is now. Where's this been all day? I don't know, does this work in favour of batsmen, Macca? If the sun comes out, I know that clouded skies are good for bowlers, but...
Well, yeah, there's still cloud about, but
it's
yeah.
still cloud about.
But we'll, hopefully it swings less. Yeah. Or not at all.
Okay,
which would be the preferred option.
Okay,
not
good.
at all. But yeah, we'll see.
Well, look, Simon Hunter is back. Macca, do feel free to vacate the seat or stay where you are.
Stay if you want. It's lovely to have you with us.
It's entirely up to you, but thank you so much for joining us. And I'm going to hand back to Si Hunter, and I'll see you all at the finish.
Thanks, Kath. Kath Brazier there, who is going to hot-foot it down now, I think, and hopefully to be doing some interviews with the winners at the end, who's been presenting for us on our BFBS coverage today, and some great interviews we've heard earlier on. I'm going to take a quick cup of tea break as well, let you two carry on just for a wee while as the RAF begin their innings.
Sounds good to me, John. Absolutely.
What, that I'm taking a break?
A cup of tea, of course, no matter what time of year, I think it's always a good thing. And Macca, as we're saying, the sunshine is there. Ben Johnson with ball in hand. We saw what he did earlier with that swing. RAF batsman out, and it'll be Tom Shorthouse and Sam Moorby. Shorthouse to take strike against Ben Johnston. Oh, and swing him already there, almost middle and leg, swinging out towards off stump there.
There's quite a lot of swing there for the first ball. Let's see how this goes. But yeah, these two have played against each other for years now as well, so they know each other quite well.
Johnson again, and just tucking up Shorthouse a little bit. Shorthouse 76 not out the other day in that successful RAF chase to beat the Army in Southampton. What sort of thing will Adam Fisher have been saying at the halfway point? What sort of things does he like to say, without giving, of course, too much away? But
nah, he backs the lads.
Oh, a lovely lofted flick there from Shorthouse, a trademark shot of his, a couple of bounces and over the rope, and well, that's just beautiful stuff on a beautiful evening at the home of cricket. But yeah, as you were saying about Adam,
yeah, he'll just be telling the lads, look, back your skills, back what you do what you back yourself to do. It's a weird way of saying it, but not everyone hits the ball in the same place, so hit it in the places where you like it.
Swing again from Johnston. This time they take a single, and Shorthouse is quickly through. Yeah, he gives the players the freedom then, does he?
Yeah, it's about giving them the freedom. They're all good enough. They know what they need to do. So it's just giving them the encouragement and the support, really.
Ruby marking his guard as he gets ready to take strike for his first ball. Oh, back of a length, and moved out and it passed the man at point, so they'll scamper a single. 6 for no loss for Royal Air Force. What a remarkable week we've had, with in each of these 3 matches, the first innings being in the 140s and 8 wickets down.
There's been a good games all the way through so far.
Oh, and that's hammered, pulled very strongly into the crowd by Shorthouse. It was short from Ben Johnston, and given the treatment,
He was quick onto that short ball. Coming off the 75, so he must be seeing it quite well still.
Absolutely, and well, he's shown us the last few years just his all-round game, 360 shots all around the wicket, Tom Shorthouse, and he's very pleasing in the eye, isn't he, Maka, in terms of how compact he is, how well he times the ball, and he never seems to lose his shape.
No, it's just, like you say, his shape, but the strength that he has. But it doesn't look like he has the strength. The way he hits it, he just hits it so cleanly, out the middle, times it perfectly. Yeah, he's just so easy on the eye to watch. I love watching him bat all the time.
That makes two of us. A great player to watch. That wonderful 100 at Vine Lane last year in the 50-over competition as well. He's good through the formats. Walton coming through. And, no run. Walton bowled well earlier against the Army. Oh, and trying to get the sweep out and trying to get it past the man at fine there. They'll certainly get a couple. See if they can run 3. Shorthouse looking for the 3rd, and he's trying to come back, and Murphy's going to have to be quick. And the ball goes to the wrong end, you'd say, if you're a Navy fan.
Yeah, that's good running there.
But
Good
for an
running.
RAF fan, you're pretty pleased with that running.
That's what we've got to do. Run the 1s, 2s, convert them into potentially those 3s. It's brilliant running. Shorthouse was scampering there.
Yeah, we say about good batsman, full of intent, and he always is, Shorthouse. Always looking to make the most of every opportunity, and Murphy almost slipping there on the lusher part of the square. He gets back okay, and the umpire just did a bit of ducking, get out of the way of that ball. Umpires, as has been said already today, have done a fantastic job at Lord's today. Trying to get down and sweeping again, and well, a wide signalled. Coming in is Walton. Shorthouse trying to force that ball on the up. He's such a good player on the up too, isn't he? There were quite a few cover drives the other day he played, which maybe many players wouldn't be able to play.
Yeah, no, he's definitely got shots that most people don't. And the way he can manipulate the ball with his wrists. There's one way of hitting the ball with your wrist, but he somehow manages to get it where other people couldn't.
Oh, and nice sweep shot, but to no avail. Which makes him, I guess, a player just as adept against spin as he is against pace, as the RAF get 16 for none off 2 overs.
Yeah, it does, but what he allows people to do is take the pressure off. So him playing so freely from one end allows the other player just to free up. He's not, even if he's getting bogged down or whichever it is, he doesn't feel the pressure because Shorthouse is so good that he's taking that pressure off him. So it allows other people to play around him a lot more freely as well, which is just brilliant.
Johnston trying to look for that swing, and maybe trying to swing it into the grandstand, but it doesn't connect.
Big heave, big heave.
He's trying not to lose his shape there, Murphy, as well. So, yeah, 150 the target for the RAF. Johnston in. Oh, a lovely cut shot. Will that get to the rope? There's a bit of work to be done. And the fielder out there. And, I think it's James Chadwick out patrolling that boundary and sweeping.
Back for 2. This is a good start so far.
Yeah, trying to put pressure on the Navy bowlers and fielders. And that's another 6, and that's a wonderful strike. Great stuff there from Murphy. Much appreciated in the boxes, where I think it's... Has the catch been taken cleanly there?
I was trying to see, but I don't know.
I think it has. I think it's been thrown back now from the boxes, and there was certainly a loud cheer. Whether that was just for the 6 or a catch being taken, I'm not sure, but there was some excitement anyway.
That was a big hit.
Yeah, that's a very good start for the RAF this. We need another 126, and there's a lot of cricket to be played, but they might be happy with this. Oh, and he gets it past the keeper. That's going to be another 4 runs from Murby. And very good stuff as the batsman punch gloves. And show of appreciation there from Tom Shorthouse as well.
It's a very good over so far. 12 off it so far in 4 balls. It's a good over for the RAF.
Yeah, very nice indeed. Good to get that run rate up early doors. A bit fuller and trying to smite it away there, Murby again. Only as far as square leg, but they take the single. Yeah, run rate already up at 10s. It needs to be around about that 7.5 mark for the whole innings. Full toss, low full toss there, but just tapped out through the offside by Tom Shorthouse.
I think one of the targets for the lads would be to try and get that run rate required down to run a ball, and then we can manage it from there.
Yeah, it's I guess it's about breaking the back of the innings early, isn't it?
Use the power play the best we can. If we can get 50, 60 off the power play, that puts us in a really strong position going for the rest of the innings.
Well, Shorthouse on strike. As Walton comes in, using his feet very well, as he often does. And just tapping that down to long on. Yeah, that's another mark of brilliance of Shorthouse's batting. The ability to use his feet very well. Murby this time. And they're going to take the quick single here and fielder in very quickly, but yeah, well run from the RAF batsman again. Welcome back, John Nyson.
Yeah, thanks very much. A really good start, as you say, for the Air Force here. Very, very strong. And I think there's a couple of shattered windows over in one of those executive boxes over there from one of those sixes from Shorthouse. He's made short shrift and Morby as well. Look at those, 18 from 9 deliveries and 13 from 12 from Shorthouse as well. But yeah, they've made a good start here, haven't they? And I'm sure Macca, well, I know you've said this is exactly what they needed to really give themselves a really good push at the Navy here. And the Navy desperate really for wickets.
Oh, big appeal there.
There is a big appeal going up, but umpire doesn't want to know.
Yeah, Walton just going for the appeal, but umpire not interested in that occasion.
To be fair, the umpires haven't given much so far today.
No, they haven't.
And pulled out beautifully, deep square leg, and fielder does well to pull that in.
Yeah, great fielding there from Simon Morris.
Yeah, and they race through. I thought a feature of the RAF's innings the other day, that successful chase of 143 in Southampton, was the way in which they were able to use the gaps, find the gaps with ease, really. You know, Shorthouse and Hansford on that occasion with them, and really looked as if they did it without breaking a sweat.
Yeah, they were really good at it, and they pushed the Army fielders, to be honest, even inside the ring, taking quick ones to them, and that just develops further into the game where they come in, it opens the gaps wider, makes it easier for the lads. So no, it was a good game for that.
34 for no wickets then after the first 4 overs of this match. Well up on the run rate. They're 8.5, they require 7.3, but as you say, Macca, if the Air Force can get this down to 6, it means they can just take their foot off the gas a little bit, doesn't it, and just push things away and keep scoring regularly. But
smash straight only as far as Johnston that time, and off the bowling of Hill.
As players, generally, it's not looking at the run rate. We literally just look at the balls required and runs to win. It's an easier formula to work out.
I'm sure it is.
Leaves you with fewer headaches potentially, doesn't it?
But it makes our life a bit easier here in the commentary box, so we can just think what the tactical scenario might be. And I'm sure that Adam Fisher is working that one out, and he'll be keeping a close eye on the score as well.
So Murby giving himself a little bit of room, getting outside off stump there to try and open up that short leg side boundary, and not quite being able to get it where he wanted, but get a run. again. That's short of a length, and well, it's very, very close to being a catch there. Shorthouse living dangerously.
Yeah, luckily that just dropped short of point. Trying to go over extra cover, I think. Just got a bit of a slice on it.
Yeah, a bit of spin as well on that slice. It's again trying to open up that. You can see what he's trying to do there fairly clearly.
End of the over, and the Navy sort of stemmed the flow a little bit there in that over, didn't they? From the free scoring that the Air Force players have been able to achieve so far, 38 without loss after 5 overs.
Yeah, let's see how this last over goes of the power play. I think we need to try and get as much as we can out of it, but don't be reckless at the same time.
You said 40, didn't you? So you're nearly there.
Nearly there.
Oh, and that's good from Shorthouse again. And the bowler taking a little tumble around the batsman. Just, keeping Murby honest there is Navy keeper. Bright sunshine now, evening sunshine, that golden hour.
Evening shadows being cast over the this wonderful ground.
Oh, and Murby goes aerial,
Oh.
and that could be a catch on the boundary,
it's-
but it's parried over and it's 6 runs.
Drop for 6. We'll take that.
That heart and mouth moment there, I think, for Morby, but he lives to fight another day and gets the 6. So Sam will be a bit relieved about that. Takes him to 27.
He's trying to get something on that Murby, but goes through to the keeper. Yeah, that was Ben Johnston there. He's been very good in that area today in the boundary. It's patted back down the wicket there, but not to be on that occasion. Of course, the boundary rope brought in, given where this particular wicket is on the square. Had it been another day and a wicket further to the centre, it might have been a different story. Oh, and that's very well played out there. It should be another 4 runs.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah, just pulled off his hip. Tucks away behind square.
And let's give due deference to the Navy fielder on that far side, on that third man boundary, because obviously you had not only was the high ball, but he also has the sun in his face as well, and it's the sun getting quite low. Must have been very difficult, almost impossible to make that. Sorry, on the long off boundary.
Through everything there, and that ball's rolling up towards the boundary at the nursery end. And are they going to run 3? Yeah, Shorthouse is trying to come back, pick up a couple.
Yeah, I think one thing for the fielders here, and I think some spectators might not necessarily see it, but trying to pick up the white ball from the white seats is not always the easiest either. And also white ball, white clouds, it does make it a little bit tricky for all the fielders out there.
That's a very good point.
White ball, I don't know. We were talking about cricket purists earlier on.
I was going back to a time we had that discussion as well, Mac. It's a very good point you make. We were talking about that earlier, and also talking about how even with the red ball, I remember back to the 05 Ashes and KP, kept Peterson in that first test, dropping a couple of chances, and it might have been Richie Beno in commentary saying about the ball coming out of the crowd, and some of the red colours in the crowd. It's not so easy here at Lord's, and that's inside out, which he so often does, Tom Shorthouse. I think he'll just pick up a couple this time, but beautiful shot.
Simon Morris again comes into play, fielding, does well.
Yeah, it's a trademark Shorthouse shot, isn't it? A bit wider this time. It was a wide ball, and it's through the keeper as well. There's a bit sloppy here from the Royal Navy.
Can go for 4 wide, so he's going to stop it. Gets it back.
And the RAF have also now passed the 50, just outside the power play, but
You got your wish
there.
Yeah, 56 without loss. This is the strongest of possible starts for the Air Force here as they look towards this title, this championship.
Rocking back there, and
These two loving it at the moment, Shorthouse and Morby.
they're taking a lot of pressure off their teammates, that's for sure, in this partnership.
Well, it's down to 93 off 82 balls.
Yeah. Of course, these two will want to go the distance themselves, but they also know that they don't want to leave too much. If they both get out or one of them gets out, they don't want to leave too much for others coming in. So, but it's been so impressive so far from these openers. Smeared through the offside there this time from Murby. It's very much the RAF in the driving seat here.
Last ball of Nathan Hill's over.
Opening the face again, it's been very good
down through the covers and
cover region.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good from the Royal Air Force. 59 for no wicket off 7 overs. What a start it's been from them.
Yeah, I would have taken this all day long from the start. Now it's just about pushing forward, going on, taking that responsibility, seeing it all the way through to the end now.
How will the Navy respond? We've seen quite a few twists and turns today, John.
We have.
Up here in the commentary box.
Yeah.
What's next in store for us?
Yeah. Maka, great having you with us, but I absolutely understand if you want to head back down to join the rest of them down there at some stage. I'm sure you'll want to if things carry on as they are with the Air Force looking at this stage like you're going to be heading for the title here. I'm sure you want to be with them rather than with us, but we're glad to have you with us for as long as you feel you can stay.
Yeah, I was going to do about another 2 overs anyway, so
fair enough. No, that's great. No,
sounds good.
The longer the better you're with us, but we'd hate you to feel you have to stay to see this one through.
Beautiful.
Oh, and that's well stopped on the boundary there. A good bit of defensive work for the Navy by Nathaniel Pinckney there.
Bat speed from Tom Shorthouse. Rapid.
And from 4-5 Commando for Marines.
Yeah, fast hands through the ball there, Maka. Oh, and played back up.
Very near.
Didn't think the bowler got a touch on it, did he? But yes, there's one of those.
I'm going to hope not. But he was well back in his crease, so we don't need a run out like that this time. Let's put it that way.
It's so unfortunate when these things, and you do see them occasionally, don't you? When they happen like this, straight back down, and he had his bat down okay.
Yes.
No shortage of effort from these Royal Navy players. They know that they can get a couple of wickets. It suddenly slightly alters the balance, but when you need 89 from 75 deliveries, it's just getting quite good for the Air Force here. Their run rate still above what's required.
Oh, that's a very wide ball.
And that's not the sort of thing that the Navy need to be doing now. They need to be as efficient as they can be.
They're on 7 extras already in 7 overs, is it? Yeah, 7 overs, 7 extras. They can't afford to give us those 3 runs.
Comes in again then. And that's up in the air. We could have our first wicket here. Oh, he just came too far down. I think the sun once again got in his eyes, lost the ball, and it goes away instead for 4 runs. So Shorthouse just living on his wits a little bit there. It wasn't he?
Yeah, he's completely misjudged that. I think the fielder, he's just come in a little bit too far and then it's gone over his head. It's not nice, but it does happen from time to time.
So White comes in and bowls again, and a play and a miss there from Shorthouse. Ends up with wicket keeper Brendan Strather, CTC Commando Training Centre at Limpstone. A corporal. And once more, Ben White will come up and step, goes past the umpire, and he bowls Shorthouse again plays it straight into the hands of Nathan Hill. And that's the end of that over. That's the 8th over completed, with the Royal Air Force in a very commanding position here. 66 for no wicket. And at the moment, they are heading for their Inter-Services T20 victory here, which I know will be celebrated far and wide in Air Force bases all around the globe, and wherever Air Force personnel are watching. Might be a few even on Royal Navy ships will be enjoying it at the moment, actually, Maka.
Yeah, I think there will be. I know one of our coaches, he goes out on ship soon as well.
That's played deep towards us here in the media centre. Johnston throws it back, just a single taken.
There'll be some really great individual performances today as well from all the teams, you know, and you know, Johnston's had a really good. He performed really well, hasn't he, with the bat today for the Navy, and no one has disgraced themselves at all. Not that you'd expect them to, but you know, everyone has given their very best out there today.
Oh, and that's wonderful slog sweep. Beautiful stuff once again into the crowd.
Just misses our cameraman Lewis once more.
He's in a great position, isn't he? Having to swivel, almost like an owl, swivel his head there. But brilliant stuff from Tom Shorthouse yet again.
Do you think next year he's going to move to a new location?
And then they'll hit it straight or square, I should say.
Takes Shorthouse to 32, undefeated, and the RAF moved to 73 for no wicket. They now need 77 off 70 balls. Getting so close to that runner ball, which is perfect in T20.
I think it was a Tom Shorthouse 6 the other day. It was certainly a 6 towards the main ground at Utility Bowl. Went over the head of our cameraman Chris Giles, and he told me afterwards, he said, I thought it was coming for me, and then realised, nah, it's way over my head. Lots on it.
Worrying moment though for any cameraman looking through the lens and seeing a delivery coming straight at you. Pretty worrying stuff, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, it is, yeah.
There's actually a classic moment from the BBC where a shot, I think it was here at Lord's, went literally straight into the camera position in the pavilion and smashed the lens of the camera.
It's an expensive one to fix.
Very much so, especially these expensive £1 million cameras these days.
Sports lenses, yeah. Big sports cameras that we see it.
Navy desperate to get a wicket here to stem the flow, but at the moment these two are so well set here. 76 for no wicket. Another run takes them to 77, and Morby moves on to 35.
Yeah, bossing the game here at the moment, these two. 77 for no wicket, as you say, John, and Navy, well, they're trying to scramble for some ideas at the moment because they've no answers to what these two openers are doing for the Royal Air Force.
Nathan Hill then comes in and bowls. Oh, and that could have gone just about anywhere, but instead it falls out towards third man.
Could have gone across the channel, I think, if it had been connected, but yeah, nothing at all in that. Past the keeper.
Yeah, big swing and a miss. I'm going to call time.
Micah, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, sir.
Good on.
Great to have you with us.
Indeed, it's been brilliant. Good on, be with your team.
And you've not been too biased in your commentary either.
No, you've been brilliant.
I'll never try. Never be biased. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much.
I'll catch up with you later.
Yes,
cheers,
look forward
Micah.
to it. Cheers.
Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Great to have you alongside us here in the commentary box. And heading now down, hopefully, from the RAS point of view to join some celebrations. And that's really excellent stuff. Great to have Micah with us today. Andy McGeorge, Sergeant Andy McGeorge, one of the Royal Air Force coaches, and just a seamless transition.
Yes.
Joining us now once more in the commentary box is our very own Adam Gilchrist, who's been looking after the coverage for BFBS radio news today. And Adam, this is a dominant performance, is it not, from the RAF batsmen here? Batters, I should say.
Yeah, it's a brilliant start for them. And
oh, a run-out chance, and Shorthouse was well short there, but it didn't connect.
No.
Hill.
It fizzled out, you might say, that play. Yeah, best 5-over score so far today. 26 for 2 earlier for the Army, 31 for 2 the Navy in the previous game. This match, 34 for 1 the Royal Navy. Now 38 for no wicket off the first 5 overs. But
oh, and that's fortuitous there. That's finding the rope as well. 4 runs off the outside edge.
So they're looking like more than doubling that for the 10-over mark as well. So they're well in command, but run rate is still over a run a ball. That always creates pressure if wickets start tumbling. If
they do.
If for the capital I.
But at the situation they're at the moment, the RAF are absolutely on course. When you get down to a run a ball, particularly when you see they've still got 11 overs left, this is a dominant performance so far from these RAF batters. But as you say, can change on a sixpence.
Ball goes up in the air again, and it's just going to land short of Duncan Fraser down there. Fielding in front of where we had lots of school children earlier, enjoying their time, trying to copy the warm-up regime or routine, I should say, of Ben White. But
yeah,
yes.
Where's the Ben White fan club gone now? all having their tea, no doubt, and watching this on our coverage here, hopefully.
Delighted to have you join us on our coverage.
They might be having a doze because the cake has run out. So I'm just thinking,
That's true.
There could be some full bellies.
Yeah.
Sugar rush has worn off.
Yeah.
The highest partnership of the day. I think this eclipses the MCC partnership from earlier in match 1. 84 without loss after 9.4 overs. They're well in command.
It's a brilliant performance, brilliant batting performance, and it's a repeat really of what they achieved on Tuesday.
And it's a strong batting lineup. I know that Kath Brazier from the team was saying earlier on, it's the RAFs. They're too strong in their batting order. I thought, you never know with an odd early wicket, but she's right so far.
Kath knows her cricket. You have to hand it to her. She knows it. She knows her cricket, and
loves her cricket as well.
Loves her cricket too. She was saying she'd love to have the chance to play out here herself, but just walking around the pitch is enough for us, isn't it? Especially for me at my age.
I tell you, get yourself in a Boy Scout troop and you could be out there playing in the interval.
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely. Some quick cricket.
I'm old enough to remember the days when, when it was a tea interval or lunch interval, everybody was allowed out onto the pitch and they could have their own games. And most of the kids, me being one of them, I was much more interested in playing my own game of cricket than watching the test match that was going on.
Well, me and my little mates, Mark and Johnny, we used to play in front of the pavilion at the Oval, thinking we'd get spotted. Didn't happen, strangely enough.
Well, for me, it was either Trent Bridge or Grace Road or possibly Headingley. And my dad took me to Old Trafford one day and I got stung by a wasp. And that's the thing I remember about that.
Sweet
to put you off. 84 for no loss at the halfway stage of this innings. 10 overs to go for the Royal Air Force. They need 66 runs to win off 60 balls. And you'd say they're cruising at the moment. Put the curse on them. But certainly that's what we've seen so far. They would save us the bother of getting out the calculators and doing the whole net run rate thing.
Yes, and thank goodness no Duckworth Lewis necessary today either. That is just the most difficult thing for any statistician to work out, anybody to work out how the Duckworth Lewis system works.
Fraser in again and trying to give himself a bit of room, and that's just down the leg side, so it'll be signalled wide.
Another wide.
And that extras has gone up to 11 now, which the Navy simply cannot afford in this situation they're in.
You've got a very sharp eye for the extras there, John, I notice.
Well, got the right glasses on this time.
I get the feeling you want to tell a few bowlers off for wides and no balls.
Trying to smoke that towards the grandstand, which he does. 4 runs this time from Murby.
Well, Morby has certainly matched Shorthouse this time as he moves on to 44 not out, with Shorthouse on 34 not out. This is a commanding batting performance from these Royal Air Force players. And the Navy haven't bowled badly either. That's the thing. They've not, there's not been too much wayward stuff. It's just that the Air Force batting has been superlative today.
It may be that the Navy bowlers are bowled a little bit straight, which on a sort of normal pitch with a little bit of movement and in the centre of the field, maybe that would work. But this kind of field, the number of 4s and 6s that the RAF batters have put away, it's been much higher percentage, I would say, than any other team so far.
Scatters the pigeons that are lurking around, no doubt chewing away at the grass seed that has been laid on some of those redundant pitches at the moment. I always think it sums up a test ground, doesn't it, when you see the pigeons scattered by a ball that flies out towards the boundary.
grass. It's reminiscent of sometimes the oval, certainly the SCG. And Fraser there getting that ball through.
Good over so far from Duncan Fraser.
Yeah, they've done, as you alluded to, John, they've done reasonably well, the Navy bowlers, in the face of this kind of onslaught. I say onslaught, which might sound a bit disrespectful to the way that the RAF have actually played beautifully, but under that pressure, they've still not been too wayward. It's just the RAF have played very, very well indeed.
That's in the air, and that could be out.
That's the first wicket here for the Royal Navy. And, well, Sam Murby's innings comes to an end. Yeah.
Could this be a start of a recovery for the Royal Navy? And they've worked so hard for that wicket, haven't they?
Very hard indeed.
It was a great catch in the end, although it was going the right way for them because obviously no sun to look into. So Robbins did really well with that catch, and well, it was Daniel Robbins who got the catch there, and well, Fraser has been rewarded. I thought it was a good over that he put in there, and again, it was a bit of a punt from a confident batsman, and there was Robbins to take the catch. So 91 for 1.
Speaking of confident batsmen, Luke Hansford strides to the crease, fresh from his wonderful innings the other day. He and Shorthouse together again, and played so beautifully in that partnership to see off the Army challenge without really breaking sweat, it seemed, on Tuesday to start this tournament.
Well, you see occasionally a bit of complacency creeping in. I doubt whether that will happen with the RAF here. They've done too well today, but there's just that thought from the Navy, if we get another wicket and suddenly place that bit of confusion within the mindset of the players, let's see what happens. Confidently played forward and gets his run to get himself off the mark.
Always nice to see a defensive push in T20 cricket, because you don't get many of those, but
no, you
a defensive prod end in a single, why not?
And an even rarer thing, a leave. Every so often you see a leave, maybe once every sort of 50 matches or something. But yeah.
But yeah, I think Simon Morby fell because he was perhaps just hoiking a little bit too much across the line and therefore punted it to mid-wicket. It was one of those where eyeing the short boundary, thinking, here we go, but maybe just a bit across the line.
Well, Amanda Potgieter made the point earlier, as you've just said, Adam. You know, you can look at that boundary and start to lull yourself into a false sense of security with how tricky it is still to hit it. You think it's so close, but yeah.
You've still got to connect. Yeah, absolutely.
You have. Shorthouse not out on 35. Hansford still to score. At the end of, nearly the end of that over, it's we're into the 12th over of this match. 93 for 1.
Oh, that's a classic
that's
flick
a lovely
from
shot.
Shorthouse, and that, well, it won't reach the boundary, I don't think. Fielder coming around to stop it from getting to the rope. But that's a lovely flick shot that he plays so effortlessly and uses those wrists beautifully.
A tidy 2, as you might say, but he found green open spaces out there, and there are quite a few on the leg side if you can connect and get it past the 2 men on the inner ring.
Comes in bowls, and again they'll take the single. That's all they need, really. 54 required from 50 balls, and when you get to this level, they can virtually run all these now. They don't need boundaries necessarily, provided they can keep their wickets.
Are you saying do it the hard way? Surely,
Why not? Well, it's cold out there apparently. We're here in the commentary box where it's lovely and warm, but I believe it's a bit chilly out there.
A lovely late cut, and
And
well
that's
stopped by the fielder.
Well stopped on the boundary.
Duncan Fraser.
Yeah,
Saving a couple.
Yeah, Fraser did really well there, and he's worked so hard for the Navy today. Got that wicket. He's been amazing, really, out there in the field as well. He's done so well, and Duncan Fraser.
Looking at the form players of the day, Dan Robbins has had a good day, hasn't he? 81 runs.
Yes.
A good catch just taken a few minutes ago. Don't think he'll be man of the day, as it were, but
I'm not sure who get player of the day, actually.
I wonder.
It was tricky when Royal Navy having played 2 matches, and the other sides all having played 1 each. It's tricky to
Presumably
get
they
player of
take
the
it
day.
but they take it into account maybe for the other game down at
maybe
Southampton.
Player of the tournament,
Player
I
of the
suppose, it's easier, isn't it?
championship, yeah.
Championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We can't forget about 2 days ago.
Well, you certainly can't.
Well, there's a man out in the middle at the moment who may well be in with a great shout, Tom Shorthouse. 70 odd, he played beautifully in Southampton, 39 not out here, and certainly if he steers his side to a victory, then well, it might be wise to be looking at him at this stage.
Still got a job to do though, the Air Force.
Indeed. Lofted again, inside out.
It's safe though.
Singled out to deep cover. Tom Shorthouse also struck with the ball. Remember, he took a wicket with his second ball today in the Navy innings. So I guess, yeah, he's putting his name up in lights all right. Jonathan Boynton had a good last game as well.
He did. 3 wickets in the end, wasn't it?
3 wickets and 22 good runs.
Although he's annoyed with himself the way he got out, did Jay.
Lovely to see his little boy wearing his shirt as well in the crowd. Very nice touch. Family's here and nearly falling over there, Hansford. He almost fell over a couple of times, managed to keep himself upright.
It's always nice when your son wears your shirt, because I'm sure there are a lot of sons who would go and wear somebody else's shirt. Do you know what I mean? Oh, look, he's Ben Stokes. Yeah, you could just see it, couldn't you, somehow?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Tom Shorthouse, 40 not out now, in a score of 100 for 1.
Yeah, they've got the 100. 74 balls, 39 minutes.
Oh, and a big appeal there. I think just maybe going down leg. Or did he get a touch on that?
Was it a bit high? I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Umpire's unmoved anyway.
Umpire did say it was a leg, so it was obviously a leg by.
Yep.
So it was
Yeah,
so
maybe just
difficult to tell. But,
also, we're getting some long shadows across the pitch now, so depending on where the fielders are standing, that could confuse the picture.
Fairly straight again and just glided off that bat face by Hansford.
yeah, Macca made a really good point actually, that it is quite difficult to bowl offline. You know, when in T20, that you're so close to a wide being given away, particularly down the offside. Obviously, if it goes down the leg side, it's going to be given automatically as a wide if there's no scoring shot off it. But you know, he did make the point. It's actually, you know, therefore bowlers are encouraged to go as straight as possible rather than trying to encourage the batter to, you know, do a bit of fishing out, to, you know, dangle the bat in front, you know. So it was a good point that he made about that.
Yeah, you've got about a foot of width to play with, really.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of space to work with, really.
Another single taken, pushing the score up to 103 for 1.
The RAF need 47 from 43 balls to win the match and win the title.
It's in their hands here, Royal Air Force. As long as they keep playing sensibly.
Good delivery again. I'd say Duncan Fraser has done really well so far for the Navy. I've been impressed with his performance with the bat, with the ball, and also out in the field. And he's got that 1 wicket so far for all the Navy's hard work.
He's keeping it tight, 1 for 11 from his 2 overs, and I imagine they'll keep him on at this end, the nursery end, and keep the pressure on. Maybe just build a little bit of pressure, although the required run rate is still under 7. Feels like it's therefore controllable.
Y2's bowling again. This is 4th over. 19 runs conceded so far.
Oh, and that's played through extra cover and beats the man and goes to the boundary. Another 4 for Shorthouse.
One of those nice squirty drives that he plays very well, doesn't he? It's not elegant necessarily, but it's beautifully timed.
If you're an RAF batsman, they all count, don't they? So White again. Another 4 to add to his tally. Conceded, runs conceded. He comes in and bowls.
Flicked off the hip.
And that is going to go all the way down for 4 runs. That's not going to be stopped.
It takes Tom Shorthouse to 49, 1 short of his half century. Nicely flicked round the corner. And unless you've got a fine leg, which doesn't happen that often in T20, if you haven't got one, it's a 4 really all the way.
So 8 already conceded off the first 2 balls of Ben White's over here, his last over, his 4th over of the innings. So he comes in again.
Oh, and down the leg side, that'll be a wide.
That's a wide, so...
One off his half-century, Tom Shorthouse, is second in this championship.
And now the figure required is less than 1 run a ball. 38 to win from 40 deliveries. Unless something goes seriously wrong for the RAF here, they're going to win the title. Oh, it's a great delivery this time.
Tom Shorthouse not happy with himself there, just fishing at that a little bit.
Well, that's one of the best deliveries that Ben White's delivered across the course of the day today.
Gentlemen, I'm going to have to go and get a bet on before the match is over. So
I've heard plenty of excuses in my time.
Oh, there we go, yeah.
if you'll excuse
but
me.
time tied in the latest news, wait for no man, Adam.
Indeed. That's well said, John. Adam, the ball's
No.
aerial, but it's gone over the man.
It's in the air, and
No.
I think...
Just has enough, potentially. The fielder chasing after it, keeps it in.
Did well.
That's, very
They'll
well
run
done
3
there.
though, won't they?
James Chadwick, yeah, 3 runs. No, great to have you once again, Adam.
Thanks,
it's been
Adam.
an absolute pleasure today.
It's been great having you with us, and well, you've got plenty to write about and report for the news as well. Adam Gilchrist joining us today in commentary whenever he can. It's been great having you with us, Adam. So thee and me will carry on, I think.
Thee and me, John. Yeah.
Until the bitter end here. 116 for 1. The Royal Air Force closing in on this Inter-Services T20 title.
Lovely pick
for
up, cool shot there by
2025.
Hansford.
Yeah, it was a lovely pickup. Shorthouse has now gone past his 50, of course. That makes him the top scorer of the day so far, I think, doesn't it? For certainly for the RAF, and adds to what he achieved the other day down at Southampton.
Yep, fantastic half-century, Tom Shorthouse, and his teammates will be absolutely delighted, not just for him, but for the position he's put them in here. 117 for 1, 33 from 38 needed. What a position for the RAF to win this title. Oh, and that's gone aerially, and it's been dropped. It's been dropped at point, and it's Finlay Marks, the captain of Shorthouse.
He'll be disappointed about that. That's his 3rd 50 in inter-services cricket, by the way, Tom Shorthouse. And it takes him very close to getting 1,000 runs. He was on 919 before the start of play today.
What is it they say, John, about making your own luck as well?
Absolutely. He's run his luck a little bit, hasn't he, in this innings, with a couple of dropped catches and one that I think just squirted out of the hands of a fielder for a 6. But no, by and large, Tom Shorthouse has been totally dominant in this innings. And Morby, of course, made 45. That, again, able assistance from him. And in fact, he was leading the scoring, really, for the Air Force before he was out. But
yeah, great innings from Morby. And Fraser coming back on to try and do something here. Obviously need wickets to stem this. They can't hold the RAF really without wickets. 32 from 36 is pretty pretty straightforward for the Air Force from here. It's just a little bit across the line there to Ben Johnston. And Shorthouse, well, what a competitor as well. We say so much about how stylish a batsman he is, especially those inside or into out shots, but he's very mentally strong, always up for the fight.
You can't fault the Navy for their effort and desire, but they've just lost that little bit of a spring in their step that a couple of wickets would have given them. You could tell when that first wicket went down, it made such a difference to them. But you know, I remember seeing them against the Army when they had them really under the cosh with 3 wickets down and hardly any runs on the board. You got the feeling they would have an extra bit of spring in their step. it's missing a little bit now, and that's quite understandable given the fact that they've been pulverised really by the RAF batting here.
Yeah, and I think as you allude to, I think the style in which they lost against the Army, having thought that when they had the Army, just swivel pool there, when they had the Army almost looking down in that match and thinking, you know, they were going to restrict them to even potentially 100, 110, and the Army were able to get up to 148 and to successfully defend that. I think that took a lot of sting out of their attack, John. I think that took a lot of puff out of them, looking, you know, just at their body language in this match, just a little bit deflated after that, to be honest.
But still the effort comes in. Fraser bowls, and
it's good from Fraser, isn't it? He's been pretty solid in this innings.
yes, he has. Yeah, I've been impressed with him. He sums up the Navy attitude, really. Leading hand Duncan Fraser, based down at Collingwood, Gosport, and he's really given his all today. Deserves another wicket in many ways for his effort in the air, but that's going to be safe, isn't it? So I don't think that's going to be stopped by any of the Navy fielders as well.
4 runs for Shorthouse once more.
Takes him to 58. Takes him to 58. So he really is the top scorer today in today's T20. I'm just looking down the figures for what he achieved the other day at Southampton, because that pushed him into sort of top scoring records. The highest partnership, the second highest partnership ever for the Royal Air Force against the Army was last Tuesday. 105 partnership he had with Hansford. These two know exactly what it takes to win a match.
Absolutely. Just a bit of a fist bump there from the two of them with their gloves. 127 for 1 after 15 overs. 5 overs to go. 23 needed from 30 balls. And you'd say from here it would take something extraordinary from the Royal Navy to stop the RAF from winning this title.
Yeah. I think it's just too much now to expect 9 wickets, because that's what they're going to need. They're going to need to take 9 wickets in these last 5 overs, and
also the run rate as well. As was mentioned, they need to win by, I think, 19 runs.
But that does not mean they're going to give up. Far from it, because that's the military way, isn't it? Right until the very last moment, they'll keep going. But this has been masterclass from Shorthouse today, and ably assisted once again by Hansford, who's on 8. He's been very patient. Just let Shorthouse do all the damage.
Hansford again, just poking that into the offside. Well, the RAF players waiting very patiently down there on that bench in front of the pavilion. Just eagerly anticipating what's going to come very shortly, you'd think. And flicked by Hansford, but straight at the man. Yeah, it's just been, I must say, so impressive, the composure with which these Royal Air Force batsmen have played through the week, and also the way that their bowlers have just been able to put a bit of a stranglehold on their opposition as well. Oh, and that's got through everything, it seems, behind the keeper. It's trickling away. I think they'll come back for a couple, which they do. And well, just 20 runs needed now for the Royal Air Force. 20. These two, of course, will want to be there at the end. On Tuesday, it was the skipper, Adam Fisher, who came out to bat to hit winning runs, but if these two can do it, they will.
20 needed from 26 deliveries.
And there's another one knocked off. And
that 19 from 25.
What a dream scenario, John, if you are Tom Shorthouse or Luke Hansford. What a position to be in at Lords, the home of cricket, in this scenario, just about to win the Inter-Service Championships for your team. And he'll just...
it's a day none of these players will forget, I'm sure. And it's such a long time since the Air Force experienced a victory here at Lords. They've
fantastic
had to
shot,
work really hard, and that's a
cleared the
beautiful
ropes to
shot
6
in the best possible way. Shorthouse again, he moves now on to 66, and the Air Force closing in on victory here against a gallant Navy team, but right from the word go, I think it was 12 off the first over, the Air Force set their stall out and have produced a masterful performance here. And across the two matches that they played, well deserving this title, Si, I think, no doubt about that.
I agree with you there, John. I'd agree entirely. Who's impressed you most today? Not to put you in the hot seat. I mean, there's been a flurry of players across all three matches, and you know, from Tuesday's game as well that I was commentating on too. And I mean, I mentioned Tom Shorthouse there. Luke Hansford has been very good as well today and on Tuesday in partnership with him. I think. Oh, and that's a lovely little bit of well, his soft hands there came into play. I think Hansford.
You don't have to look too much further than obviously that these two have in the two games have been absolutely brilliant. But I would like to just highlight the performance from the MCC women earlier on, and I thought that Noor Talib was amazing. Her bowling performance today was a match winner for the MCC women against UCAF, because it was her bowling. It was almost mundane, but she was every time, every delivery was hitting the mark. It was almost unplayable, and Amanda Potgieter told us exactly the same thing. But that was, you know, you're looking for that great partnership. 52 between Shorthouse and Hansford now off 33 balls, 143 for 1, and they need just 7 now to win this Inter-Services title.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from them. And also, we're looking back at that match, a big swing and a miss. A shout out, of course, to Isabella Routledge and Francesca Sweet. And fantastic batting from the two of them. Really was for MCC women. Amanda Potgieter with a 50 of her own as well for UCAF. And
you've got to say Jonathan Boynton as well, taking 3 wickets for the Army against the Navy in his last T20 game here at Lords. 22 runs as well with the bat. And
tickled fine. It's going to be 4 runs, and it brings the RAF ever closer to that victory target. Just 3 to win now.
Yeah, and they've got overs to spare. Only 16.4 overs completed. Master performance, brilliant performance from the RAF here.
Great stuff.
Absolutely fantastic.
Also, Stefan Gabriel, a good bit of stuff from him with the ball. A brilliant ball to dismiss Ben Johnston, and Denzel James, great bowling performance too.
And some fielding as well, some brilliant fielding exploits we'll have to pay our attention to as well.
Oh, and he's looking to get that fine. Can it go for 4? These would be the winning runs. They're going to come back for 2.
So scores now level.
Leave them just 1 run to win. Well, what a fantastic moment. You can see all the RAF boys standing up in their light blue shirts. And, well, Fraser, I think, thought that was done. He was about to shake hands, I think. But still one.
In a way, it is done, of course.
It is, yes.
Because the Navy now simply cannot win anyway. So the
formality now, John.
It is a formality, yeah. The job is done, but they'll want to go out in style. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes for a boundary.
Fraser into ball to Hansford and squirting away. Oh. And, well, it's gone past the fielder, and that's all they need. The Royal Air Force have won the Inter-Service T20 Championships.
It's not
2025.
It makes the boundary, just hits the boundary ropes. And
fantastic stuff from them.
It's
been brilliant from Shorthouse and Hansford, following on from what they did a couple of days ago. And look at those cheers on the boundary for the RAF team. The light blues successful. What a tournament it's been for them. Of course, just a 3-team tournament, but they've been in control in both those matches. And as you say, John, you can't fault the Royal Navy for the effort they put in today. Great win also for the Army, but the Royal Air Force fully deserved champions.
Well, fantastic over the 2 games. They beat the Army by 8 wickets. They've beaten the Royal Navy by 9 wickets. And you cannot get more comprehensive than that, really, Si. And you can just see how delighted the players are. We've got the pictures, obviously, coming from down there in front of the pavilion. It's going to be a very, very happy band of light blue tonight. And I'm sure wherever you're watching this around the Forces world, you can only take your hat off to this performance from the Royal Air Force today. The Navy players, they gave it their all. They've ended up losing both their games today. The first one pretty close against the Army. That could have gone either way, to be honest. But today, the RAF in a league of their own, and they claim this one by 9 wickets. Fantastic performance, 153 for 1. And what a performance from Shorthouse again. 66 not out in his innings, with ably supported by Hansford on 25, and the batsman, of course, Morby, was out for 45. So great performance.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. And the teams both congratulating each other and the players for the part they've played today. The handshakes coming out as Shorthouse and Hansford walk off to great jubilation from the Royal Air Force players. In the sunshine here at Lord's, does it get any better than that? I think not. The home of cricket, and Hansford, Shorthouse and the entire team making history here for the Royal Air Force. Fantastic day for them. What a brilliant mindset they must have had coming into today, of course, with that victory a couple of days ago over the Army. And just a wonderful scene down there, just in front of the pavilion. Well, magical stuff from the Air Force. They'll be absolutely chuffed, and we know there have been many messages of support for the team from other sports as well. They know how special this is to the Air Force. And Adam Fisher, take a bow. Your men have been just brilliant.
They have, and we'll be looking, of course, later on in the year towards team performances for the Royal Air Force Sports Awards, which no doubt will be happening up at RAF Holton, as they always do. And if I was a betting person, I think that the RAF men's cricket team will certainly be amongst them, because they have been absolutely superior in this tournament. And of course they're going to take this on, of course, to the 50 overs aside, to the championship, to the main competition, and who would bet against them to do well there with if this team can stay together. Hopefully we'll be getting some reaction down on the pitch very, very shortly.
Yeah, just Kath Brazier positioning herself there, a successful team, and she's down there with some very happy men.
Well, victorious skipper Adam Fisher, a massive smile on your face. First win for the RAF since 2018, of course, and you really deserved it. 2 outstanding games of cricket.
Yeah, I don't mind doing this interview, to be honest with you. Amazing feeling. Yeah, really delighted with the boys. They played amazing.
What have you done specifically this year? You've had some really standout individual performances, but you've had a really tight bowling unit and a great batting unit that you've backed all the way. And do you think you've just got the luck of the draw? You've got the luck of the people? Have you worked really hard for this?
Now, we've worked really hard on the team and like our plans and how we play. So I feel like it's kind of come together like nicely in this week. But yeah, a lot of hard work really. So it's nice to come off.
It was really nice to see at the end there that no one panicked. You know, you could have won it with some big hits, and Shorthouse and Hansford out there, obviously, who did a really good job in Southampton, but they played calmly. They just knew they could win it just by getting the scoring clock going over.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about playing T20 with good scoring shots and not getting too obsessed with the short boundary, because I think sometimes it gets a little bit hacky here. So yeah, we've just played good cricket, and I think that's sort of shown in an 8 and a 9 wicket win.
Yeah, I mean, they're massive wins really on the board, but Navy and Army have shown that they've got the skills in there, but maybe just didn't have the temperament that you guys had.
Yeah, definitely. If I'm being honest, I was a bit disappointed with how we bowled in the first innings of that game, but the guys have just gone and executed the plans on the second half, so brilliant.
Really good to see Shorthouse doing an absolutely stunning job. I know he's been not your underling at all, but he's been beside you for so many years now, yeah. And he's really coming out and proving himself, isn't he?
Tom's a quality, ridiculously good player, but I think he's always wanted to try and do it at the inter-services, and I think that's like 450s and 100 in his last 5 games, and yeah, he's just gone to a different level. So it's an absolute pleasure to play with him, to be honest.
I know you just want to enjoy the moment, but it's back in RAF hands, and that's brilliant because, since 2018 it hasn't come your way. I suppose now you start looking towards 50 overs in the rest of the season.
Yeah, we'll look at that tomorrow, I think. No, that trophy's going pretty high now. So.
Brilliant. Thanks, Adam. Go and celebrate. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Well, fantastic there. Delighted Adam Fisher. What a day it's been for him and his men. And the trophy having been wheeled out here as well. Just moments away from that trophy lift and the presentation to all the team. And just hugs all around. It's brilliant to see that unity, isn't it, John? And you realise just how much it means to every single one of them.
Absolutely, and when you think about it, they won the first game by 8 wickets, they've won this game by 9 wickets, which means that most of these players have not actually had to bat at all during this tournament, and that is, that's almost unheard of, isn't it, in T20 cricket, when so few players have actually got to wield a bat. And you've got to pay tribute to head coach Wing Commander Sam Moss from the Defence School of Logistics, as well with Andy McGeorge and Ian Shorthouse as well, for the job that they have done, along with Kieran Pearce, the team manager. These are great days for RAF cricket, and bearing in mind that the Navy won last year and the Army won the year before, this is for me, is perfection in terms of inter-services sport, when the titles get spread around purely on the performances of the players, and it means that, you know, we're on a great playing field. Literally, we are on a great playing field here, of course, at Lords. But you know, I think that should not be forgotten. That you know, in the last 3 years, we've now had this championship won by all 3 of our service teams. Really important.
Yeah, the health of military cricket is just fantastic, and seeing, of course, UCAF women earlier as well, and the strength they have across the 3 services, and seeing now, as Amanda Potgieter mentioned herself, you know, Molly Rebanks, the RAF player who's captaining the first RAF
for the
player.
first time. Yeah, absolutely.
Indeed. So it's great, you know, as you say, and moving forward, you know, all 3, as Adam Fisher himself said, John, earlier in the week, he said, I feel we're all fairly even matched teams, and you saw on the scores actually, 142 for 8, 149 for 8, I think 48 for 8 was the Army score, wasn't it? So very well matched scores as well, but the key difference for I think that the key thing that made the difference in the RAF's performance versus the other 2 teams is that composure with their batting, not losing wickets, and just finding the gaps with ease.
Yeah, just mentioning as well the women's game right at the start of the day, and such respect now that the MCC has for our forces women players. They put out a really strong team today, which means we're now at 2-1 in terms of the scoring over the 3 years that they've been able to play this, and that is also good. And to be fair, a really strong MCC team. And UCAF were not far behind them, at all. If they'd just been able to get some better early runs, I think you know, they would have been even closer. They made 166, which was the top score of the day in terms of here at Lords, and unfortunately for UCAF, just falling 60 short on 106. But you know, again, and for the young new players who've come into this UK Armed Forces team today, what a great experience for them. Okay, they've lost, but they'll be back next time.
Absolutely, in that respect, as you say, respect from MCC to military players, and respect across the 3 services in the men's championships as well. And those players, of course, many of whom, John, will know each other very well in the UCAF setup, and of course having recently been to Sri Lanka on tour, but they speak so highly of each other. They understand the strength really in depth in military cricket, and well, what a fantastic day, and a dream come true for some of these RAF men who have been thinking about this for a long time.
Yeah.
It was sunny, clouds have just come over a little bit, but beautifully dry evening here at the home of cricket, and the Navy players there on the boundary as well, just standing I think in appreciation of what they've done as well, and full of respect for the RAF's achievements.
Absolutely. Just waiting then for the final presentations here to be made. A great privilege for us here at BFBS as well to be bringing you this coverage throughout the course of the day. So it's one of our great sporting days of the year. You add that to Twickenham, and you add that to some of the other venues that we are privileged to go to play. But nothing really matches this in terms of summer sport, does it, Si? You know, to come here to Lords and see our forces players giving their all at this magnificent venue. It's something very, very special, and I know it's something that I treasure, and I know you do too.
Absolutely. I think it's just a magical place. Anytime you come to Lords, it's incredibly special, and when you realise how much it means to the military teams to play here, and how it's almost a spiritual home for any cricket lover, well, it just adds to the sense of occasion. We play and we see, you know, cricket at all different grounds around the country, many beautiful places, the likes of Wormsley recently, Arundel coming up, of course, on the 12th of June for the women's T20. But Lords is
and
just
Derby too. Don't forget that as well, because UCAF are going to be playing up at Derby
20th of June.
In a T20 there. And if you're in the East Midlands, you should get yourself along to the county ground there at Derby. It's a lovely location, and if you have decent weather, well, it's again perfect. And again, support our forces cricketers, because you know they're there for us when we need them to do what they have to do. But when they're playing sports, they give just as much, and there's a lot of talent out there as well. It's well worth seeing.
Yeah, it really is. And you see them in a huddle at the moment, the RAF players. Very smiley Kieran Pearce, the team manager there. as well. He was in comms the other day, and well, what a special time for them. I'm not sure if it's sunk in yet, or if it will sink in this evening or tomorrow, whenever it might be, but they'll never forget this day, and they've been part of history.
They have. It's been a great week, actually, for international sport with the forces. Obviously, our UCAF women footballers going out there to Amsterdam and retaining the President's Cup, which was something that they were desperately keen to do, having won it last year. They went to a penalty shootout, of course, and they had to do it the hard way. Sadly for the RAF men who are playing their President's Cup, their game also went to a penalty shootout, and they lost out on that one. But you know, seeing our forces sportsmen and women playing international sport is something very, very special indeed. And hopefully won't be too much longer before we have the presentations, which are just the VIPs just gathering now in front of the pavilion. And what a special place it is to have a presentation of any sort.
Absolutely, and just seeing some of the UCAF women as well. Great to see they've been watching through the day. Molly Rebanks, UCAF captain, special day for her. Also getting her unit colours, known as wickets, and not connected to cricket, actually, wickets, funnily enough, but such is the quirk of those. But what an honour for her as well, and pulling on that blazer at the toss, 9:30 this morning. She was full of energy and just delighted to be out there and leading her team out. And great, as you say, to hear from Amanda Potgieter. For all those who've joined us today, Adam Fisher as well, up on the comms, Maka from the RAF side of things too. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure and privilege.
And of course Richard as well, wonderful
Richard
Isaacs, who provided us with some fantastic statistics today. No doubt he's busy with his pen and paper and calculator and updating those stats for us as we speak.
Just looking at the medals here, of course, as well, and the T20 trophy and those stumps, some of the individual awards. And of course, each of the players will receive something for their efforts today, which is a lovely touch, of course, as well.
It is the 20th anniversary of the start of T20 here at Lords, and I think that the players here today have done this occasion proud. All of them, actually, winners and losers, and to have special medals today to mark the 20th anniversary is very special indeed.
How many twos can you fit in today, John? It's the 22nd of May, 20th anniversary. It's T20. What else do you want to say? 2 men's matches today, of course, part of 3 games.
God blimey, you're doing well with that. And yeah, and 2 victories for the RAF, of course, across the course of the 2 days of the 3 days of the event. Yeah, it's gone extremely well for them. Players now beginning to just pull themselves up then for the presentations. I'm not sure if we can go live back down to the to hear what is being said, but no doubt if we can, we will. But we'll just carry on keeping you going on commentary, and we can guide you through it.
Very special there, Ross Diver putting his arm around Luke Hansford. Hansford, who's played his part. Ross Diver, who reached his 50th inter-service cap for the Royal Air Force the other day. What a special accolade and achievement for him and the players.
51 not out one.
Indeed, yeah. Players just marching ever closer to that table with the trophy, the medals as well. Royal Navy players just behind the RAF. The umpires as well, the officials, as we've said before as well, John, just what a job they've done too. It's not easy at all, and sometimes I'm sure they feel it's a thankless task, but well done to them too.
We should give them a mention. Dave Richards from the Royal Air Force and Martin Seward, also from the RAF. Ben Hood from the Army. And we mentioned the scorers earlier on, Paul Stubbs, Ray Hollier and Sarah Cray. Thank you very much indeed to them as well for all their efforts today, because they're the ones who update the electronic scoreboard and allows us to give you the information as quickly as we possibly can. And
Sarah Cray just going up there to
receive her medal. Yeah, and really well deserved. And Martin Seward and also Dave Richards. Ben Hood going to receive theirs as well. Paul Stubbs and Ray Hollier. They go up, and now it's turn of the umpires as they come up to receive their medals too. And without them, this game would not be as it is. Medals to be presented. So here we go with Dave Richards and Alex Rennie, and
being presented by Vicky Griffiths, Chair of Membership and General Purposes here at MCC. the medal around the neck.
And Ben Hood of the Army, all three have now been awarded their medals for their contribution.
Yeah, wonderful applause as well, much in the spirit we've seen the games being played too. And all the photographers gathering there, and our cameramen getting all the action behind the scenes and just serving that wonderful excitement up through the footage.
And it's really when you see these presentations, which we don't normally show, of course, in highlights, that you realise all the hard work that goes on behind the scenes to make this competition as it is, and all these sporting events as they are. And everyone is very well deserving of their medals today, and for all the efforts and all the hard work and planning that goes into it, and to make this stadium available at any time. A lot of people will say, why can't they play this at the end of the season? You know, which really would be the culmination of the Forces cricket season. But Lords is such a busy ground, isn't it? There's so much cricket being played that it's very difficult to find a time that is suitable. We're lucky today because we've had the weather, and that's made all the difference.
It's the variable, as you say earlier, yeah, and just the players full of applause there as well. And good to see lots gathered in the pavilion, watching on, those who've been in the pavilion all day and some of those who maybe haven't. And well, it's been great to have your company. Those of you who've been watching today live with us on BFBS Forces News YouTube, what a privilege, as John, you touch upon, it is for us to bring you these pictures, bring you these moments, special moments of Forces sport. We know how incredibly hard all the players and coaching staff, and chain of command, everyone works to get these players ready for these games. And you see them performing on the biggest stage in the military calendar. And you know, over the year, we just have so many wonderful memories, and this is certainly right up there with the very best. It's a wonderful place to be, Lords. It doesn't get any better from a cricket perspective. And certainly in the military sporting calendar, well, it's one that's treated with so much respect. And for all those who understand the magnitude of playing here and just stepping forward, there you see Tom Shorthouse collecting his medal. A wonderful performance from him, steering his side.
Presumably player of the tournament then, the player of the tournament award going to Tom. And my goodness me, was that well deserved. Absolutely masterful performance with him today, with the bat man from RAF Wittering, and he will be lauded, I'm sure, when he returns up to that base, and well deserved as well.
Nice moment for the former skipper in Shorthouse. Last year, of course, he was captaining his side. And the RAF players now coming up
to receive their individual medals for their performances.
One by one.
And you know, they'll look back on these moments, won't they, and thinking, my goodness me, I won a tournament at the home of cricket, the game that I love. And, you know, it really means everything. And Adam Fisher, the captain, receiving, of course, his medal.
Standing off the side now, just waiting for that trophy presentation, waiting for that special moment that he can lift and celebrate with his fellow players. And John Hawke there, what a consistent bowler he's been. What difference he made today in that match against the Royal Navy, getting those quick wickets to turn the tide. I mean, the Navy at that point were starting to get some sixes, and Robbins in the mix there with the boundaries. But all the RAF players now awarded for their place in the squad and the part they've played in the tournament as well. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Harry Hollingsworth there, consistent bowler. And Shorthouse coming up again, having been given the player of the tournament award.
Receiving his medal with the number 20 on it.
Yeah, for all these players. It's wonderful for friends and family as well. Thanks to all of you watching on today with us, and for those who are here as well, what a wonderful moment. I'm sure there'll be plenty of pictures and videos ready to look back at from this evening. Luke Hansford coming up again. Brilliant week for him. He was sort of lauded as a powerful hitter last year, Luke Hansford. Many were saying that, but I tell you what, he's a brilliantly, all-round batsman. Ross Diver coming up now as well. He's had a lot to smile about.
Yeah, he has. Over quite a few years, Sir Ross. 51 caps now for the Air Force, which is a remarkable performance by anyone's standard in keeping that level. There's no sign of him deciding to retire yet either.
Not at all. No, he'll keep on trundling on, I think. And what a moment this is as we await the trophy lift for the Royal Air Force, as Adam Fisher gets ready to go forth and pick up that special piece of silverware. And what a moment this is, a moment he has been dreaming of for some time.
He has.
Asking Ross Diver to come forward with him. Just checking, I think, with some of the management and the officials.
And there we are, there's the trophy lift. And it's a great performance from the Air Force. They deserve this moment with the cameras clicking their away. And look at that, it means so much to them to have won this title. Eventually, last year, the Navy, of course, who are runners-up this time, are having to stand and watch because they know what it's like to win. They won it last year, and the British Army the year before. Fantastic, fantastic scenes here at the home of cricket.
Brilliant from the Royal Air Force, jumping in celebration and hugging each other, each of them getting a chance to lift that trophy. What a special part they've all played in being able to call that their own. Been part of history today. And the Army winning it 2 years ago, the Royal Navy defending champions being beaten today, and Adam Fisher holding that trophy, looking out for other people to hand it to as well, just so they can say they've touched a piece of history. And wonderful stuff on the boundary edge. Players linking arms as well, photos going up. I'm sure the first of many pictures tonight. And wow, what a deserved set of celebrations for them too. Well, that's it from our coverage today. A wonderful way to finish with those shots of the Royal Air Force on the boundary now, celebrating with their trophy. It's been great. John Nyson, have you alongside. Wonderful as always, and we've had so much fun. We've of course got plenty of cricket coming up, which you mentioned yourself as well. We've got the Women's Inter-Service T20 Championships, Arundel, on the 12th of June. Check out forcesnews.com for more information on how to see all our live sport coming up. And what a day, John. Thank you very much too.
Great pleasure, and thanks to all of our contributors today who've made this very special. Kath Brazier out there doing the interviews with the players, and for the players to come to talk to us. For the RAF captain, for example, for Adam Fisher to come and join us when there's a match on is something very special, and it's quite unique. So we're delighted about that. And thanks to all our technical team here at Lord's who have made our coverage possible today, and indeed back at our headquarters as well. It's been a great day, one of our best days of the year for military sport.
Absolutely, and you can check out highlights very, very soon as well. You can rewatch the matches in full on BFBS Forces News YouTube. We'll see you very soon. Thanks for joining us.
For the Royal Navy, this is the first carrier-led global deployment since 2021.
Students, stand by for rapid decompression in 3, 2, 1, now.
But the recruits are learning from the best, and they will one day soon become the best.